Welcome to the Salty Dragon Tavern. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and come watch us play some Dungeons and Dragons in Althea. Welcome to everyone who's come to join our channel for this evening. Yes, we still have the green and the screen behind because the green screen doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
I don't really care for it all that much anymore.
We'll attempt to fix it another time.
Well, yeah, it's all about lighting and the fact that the sunlight's coming through the windows and stuff like that.
One day.
One day.
But not this day.
One more day.
Alright, as always, we have our list of LARPs that are coming up. Scroll down in Twitch and you will see all the LARPs that we know of. In fact, I've been given a link to a Excel spreadsheet through Google Docs, which basically has been fantastically put together by one of the community of pretty much all of the LARPs that they know of.
Ashley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Festivals and LARPs and all that type of stuff associated with it. So it's a really big calendar.
Oh, I mean, you're not Tony Stark.
What?
No, never.
You lied to us.
I knew it was too hot in here. Like, I'm wondering what you're doing.
Because it was funny to start with. Why on the other side? See?
So yes, if you want to know anything about the LARP calendar, basically go and have a look at that link and it'll give you pretty much everything. Including, if you scroll down in that particular link, because it's actually got a lot of information, all the links to their pages specifically.
I also updated our future Tim's talks.
You did update the future Tim's talk. So on Tuesday, I'm going to be talking to a whole heap of different LARPs. Hopefully we get all of them coming along and we don't have any technical difficulties because we've got to phone someone in from New South Wales to try and get that going, see how that works. And if it does pan out and work quite well, then yeah, we're cool. We get to have a bit more fun with some of the other interstaters and their LARPs.
Cool.
What else is there?
The Shisha Den.
Ticket sales for the Ballarat quest are opening soon.
I thought they already were.
They've announced them. They've had to get the back end of it and accounts and stuff.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, that's getting done very shortly.
Excellent. And as always, donations through the bits helps. Also getting subscriptions for this particular channel. It carries across from this one as well as to the Tim's Table Talk. They're essentially the same. Subscriptions, bit donations, all that type of jazz helps us move this forward and do more things with it and get better green screens.
And our GoFundMe as well.
Yeah. And we also have a GoFundMe for the Shisha Den, which the chat every once in a while pops up and describes it and has a link in it. So when it does pop up, by all means have a look into it and give us a donation to the Shisha Den. As I said, if everyone within the community just gave us $5, we'd probably cover the cost without even breaking a sweat.
There's also the Midgarden Viking Village.
Which is what says
with
about a week left or something.
A calendar of high quality photos of Norse gods and goddesses.
Taken by yours truly.
And I'm not sure whether your photo is making it into the...
No, mine's on the one next year.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, it's for a good cause to have a fully functional recreation of a Viking village in Victoria. With also sustainable living and other sorts of parts as part of that. And yeah, it's a great product, great cause, so it should be supported.
That's
A northeast.
awesome.
Yeah. Recruit the northeast. Get them on board.
Alright, so has the rest of my players with whatever device they've got spread the word of this being on at this present moment in time?
I have
People
now.
can watch. Thank you.
I don't have friends.
I know you don't.
We're all here.
All your friends are in this room.
We don't talk.
We're all here.
We civil
You don't understand. He's just in the chair game.
Yeah.
And as we know, there are no friends in the chair game.
No, there are no friends in the chair game.
Yeah, he does have one of the nice chairs, so there's no friends in the chair game.
Yeah, I'm low riding today.
Yes, enjoy
That
that.
explains why you're not wearing pants.
You
he's wearing pants.
actually look the same height as the other two.
Yeah. For once I'm not up here.
He just sunk down then.
I'm not as midget too, because you guys have the little chairs and I got the big one.
It's still like a gradient up from.
Yes,
also,
yes it is. Yes,
Sizes
it is.
and everything.
For any of the people watching, if you can put a comment in there if there's any actual like stream merch that you'd like to see, because we'll be working on that in the next sort of week or two.
We're looking at getting some t-shirts.
We can get t-shirts, phone
Possibly
covers, hoodies,
mugs or
hats, mugs, all kinds of stuff.
But we need some graphic ideas, so let us know what you're interested in so we know what we can sort of get going first.
Even if you have a particularly cool meme involving one of us guys, or our characters rather, throw it up. And
Like
we'll
Dense Impact.
Yeah.
Dense Impact's definitely happening. That's definitely on the list.
We'll probably add the some of our merch to the milestones things.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
Yeah, so the next thing we're going to start off soon, I'm probably going to aim to make sure we got it out at least by the end of January. So the idea is that we are going to have a competition for this channel, for the D&D channel specifically. Mainly because a lot of the prizes we're going to give out is going to be very D&D related. However, there also might be some LARP stuff in there, so it might come across on both sides. So the idea is that we are going to have, it's going to be a long-term competition, or might even get actually released maybe June or something like that. But the idea is that we have milestones that we reach. So milestones could be a certain number of subscriptions, a certain amount of bits per month, or bits from particular people, or overall bits. We've got a whole heap of other different ideas, we've just got to flesh out a bit. Once we've got all that, these are all milestones. So every time a milestone is met, we are basically creating a hamper of a prize. So every time a milestone is met, one of the items that we've got is going to go into the hamper. Every time a milestone is met, a new item gets chucked in, and a new item, and a new item, and a new item. And we keep going that way for all of the different milestones we chuck into the system. Also, during, as part of the prize, is that you'll also get tickets depending on what's going on. So if you're a regular watcher of the stream, you'll get tickets.
Kind of like raffle tickets.
Kind of like raffle tickets, yes.
Multiple entries in the competition.
Multiple entries into the competition, yes. So in doing that now, we understand a lot of people can't watch this live, which is fine. So if we will have means to basically make sure it's covered for all the people who can't watch it live.
Also, especially if you can't watch it live, pay attention to the Salty Dragon Tavern Facebook group.
Yes.
Because we'll be putting up some stuff in there. And also, just to clarify, so with the milestones, will they be the equivalent of stretch goals for Kickstarter? Is that
Yeah, that's probably a good way of putting it, yeah.
So that might make it a bit easier to understand for people.
Yes, yeah. That's a very good way of putting it, stretch goals. Alright, then let's get into it. Let's get into Sunday nights.
What was your pathetic non-name for the caterpillar?
Candy pillar.
Candy pillar.
Right.
I hate it.
It's the caterpillar. I'm sorry.
Candy to the man.
It does sound like a drug dealing wagon.
You started it.
or a kid abduction wagon.
Of course he started it.
Which is why I said
This is now the beginning of the
caterpillar is
recording.
fine.
Mick,
No,
this
no,
is
I
what
just think it's
Candy
funny.
in the van
This is
still
where it
works.
starts.
The van being the front. But, Go on.
Alright, there is essentially there
Oh, we can
is
become the vanguard. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it works.
there are 6 other carts here in this particular procession beyond yours. So there's essentially 7 with yours included. One of the carts is that very typical Carlton United Brewery type wagon with like 6 Clydesdales
Stash with barrels.
stacked with huge amounts of barrels.
Ah,
Wow.
I was hoping it was going to be one big barrel.
Colossal barrel.
Colossal barrel.
Also known as a nightcap for Amber.
Nice.
There's a second one that's off to the other side that has, from what you can see, a whole heap of different cages of a whole heap of different birds from all over Althea.
Much longer.
And of course, then there's the central set of 4, which are all part of the same convoy. They are the person who runs this is a soldier, and he's mostly run the organisation of all the guards of this caravan. So it is mostly him who you organise to get a payment with, as a retainer essentially for this. Once you've talked to him, you see the 4. There is a lady who sits in one of them, and these are quite opulent caravans. And there's there's a lady that sits in one of them, and you haven't had a chance to have a talk to her yet. So all of the dealings have basically been through the soldier. And that's pretty much the whole caravan you've got there.
Did we actually decide to be the bodyguards, like join the guard for the?
Yeah, we signed on.
Yes.
Yeah, you signed up.
I think we're being paid 5 silver a day because somebody rolled badly in the.
You roll the 1 and the 2 that are 3.
They bargain hard.
Pencil box.
Did you roll? Can't hold it when that's fine.
I'll give us some ambient sound.
I just thought the Clydesdales were farting.
Yeah.
On the road again. Again, way again. On the road again.
Is that us walking down the road, or is it like
Yeah,
a
pretty much.
torrent of water coming down the road?
That's
That's the wind through the willows.
Yes.
Ah, right.
So you knew what was going on.
With the occasional half string in the back.
That's it.
That's what one of the people sitting on one of the carts, just like diddly-diddly-diddly.
Alright, well,
It's the hurdy-gurdy, isn't it?
I'm gonna climb up to the top of the caterpillar
Yep.
with most of my belongings.
You realise that your caterpillar is essentially one cart.
Yeah,
So it's not really a caterpillar.
yeah, I know.
Not yet.
Caterpillar to be.
It's not yet.
I still refuse to call it anything.
Caterpillar in potentia.
Caterpillar stage 1.
I'm going to basically climb up to the roof and start basically putting in a couple of pittons and tying ropes between them.
My roof.
Just 2 pittons and a rope
Look,
between them.
look. The second.
It's so we can ride it into battle.
Look. The second I hear anything equivalent of banging or hammering on the roof of this thing I've just had commissioned, I'm gonna jump up there and tell you to stop.
Sorry, done now.
What was it that you were trying to do up there?
Why did you do that?
If we need to have a fight on this, we want as much ground as possible if we need to flee. So we can't exactly use ranged weapons from inside the car. We'll be able to use them from the roof.
It's brand new. I'm like a guy whose car's been scratched for the first time. It doesn't buff out.
Who wants to come for a drive? Yeah, sure. Then someone climbs down on the roof and just smashes the hammer into the roof.
Yeah, well, hey, practicality.
I mean, you could just open one of the hatches inside the cart and fire
There's
across the way out.
No, absolute productivity.
Yeah, if you're on the roof, you're a very easy target.
It's fine. And
But that does sound like a him problem, not an us problem.
I'll continue to sit on the roof and go back to pulling all my leather scraps out of my bag and start batting again.
Alright.
I just like grumble to myself.
I'm going to start crafting little mounts that can sit in the window ledges, so that you can quickly lock in a crossbow. So
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
So you can just quickly drop it in, lock it in place, and then you've got it in the spot.
I'm just
Control mount.
sitting
Yes.
on like the back of the car with the door open, with a greatsword across my lap, and I'm just sharpening the edge.
Now the question I want to ask you guys is that it's a convoy along a road, so it's all basically single file for the whole convoy. Are you at the front or at the back?
We wouldn't be at the front because I don't think we'd be leading the convoy in
I
a
also-
direction that we've never been.
I feel like we'd be somewhere in the middle of the convoy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or the end.
I'm driving.
I suggest
I'd say the middle would be the best option, because that way, no matter where they're attacking from, we can make it to either side quickly.
Okay, so what's going to happen then is that the main caravan of the 4, which are all part together, will go first.
Yeah.
You guys go behind that, and then the Clydesdale barrels, as well as the menagerie birds cart, will also come up behind you guys.
Okay. And then 2 more of the main set, is that right?
No,
No, that's
4
it.
of the main set are going to the front.
All 4, all four, yes.
Okay, I thought it was 1 of the 4. Yeah, okay.
No, all 4 of them.
Maybe in that case we should go at the back. Because the 4 seem to be fairly decently guarded as it is.
I'll go to the
Yeah,
back
you
of the
find
guard
it.
and
You
go-
find a good portion of those. Most of the guards are going around as 4.
Yeah, so maybe
Oh, okay, so
we
then
should
we
drop
would
to the back then.
hang back with less
Actually,
guard.
I'll talk to the captain of the guard. The order that we are traveling, would it not make sense to have one of your ones at the back with some of the guards there? That way you can be sure of what is happening at both ends of the convoy.
Yes, we. This is what they're expecting you to do.
Okay. Very well. What signal would you like if there is suspicious activity?
If there is suspicious activity from the rear, then perhaps do you want a secret signal or you're happy to get out?
My friend here, the druid, can make many animal noises.
Animal noises are rather confusing. If we are under attack, then just tell us. Yell it out. We are
So
under attack.
If you're under attack, you'll probably hear a loud explosion.
Yes.
If that is suspicious, we will call out about what is some innocuous thing? We will call out asking if it is time to pray.
Time to pray?
Means that we are suspicious of something. If there is an attack, we will call out that we are under attack.
Yeah, that will do.
So it sounds like the menagerie full of birds is second from the rear,
Yes.
and we're at the rear.
Yes.
Perfect, and I'm driving. Okay.
Crap.
Oh yes.
May have already known this while we were doing the.
I mean, I expected something bad was going to happen again.
I will have such talks with these birds.
Now, I do have maps that I was going to give you, but I forgot to print them out. I've written them all up and they're ready to go. I just forgot to print them out so you can actually have a look at them. So I might do that during the halftime break and just not print them out, but just at least pass them on through digital means. So you're essentially travelling north, sort of northwest-ish sort of thing, because Summerport is actually more on a southern beachhead because of the way that the landmass goes in there. But you are heading more west, so you start heading north first, essentially. Northwest first. You'll be travelling in mostly open farmlands, the odd tree here and there, and some crows.
Ravens.
Young tree full of birds.
That's the hanging tree.
Your idol calling out to you. Your idol calling out to you.
Or
And yeah, you see the person who's driving the Clydesdales, the 6 Clydesdales, is a half-orc. Pretty nondescript in the clothing he's wearing. He's got like reasonably long, wavy, dark hair. Looks a little bit matted and greasy.
And armored?
No.
Or just, yeah, okay.
Just as he is. He does have 2 people on horses with him as his 2 personal guards who are armed. It looks like they're wearing chainmail, swords and shields, pretty simple stuff. The bird cages, or the man with the birds, is by himself, just him, and he's travelling. He obviously travels in packs with other groups of people and just pays good money to make sure that he's protected as well. Out of all the other soldiers that exist, there's like some 20-odd soldiers travelling with this troop. And most of them are positioned, walking beside all 4 of the main carriages, but the very second one, where you're pretty sure the lady stays, is where most of the soldiers lay. The front one does travel a little bit further ahead of the others, so it's actually a bit smaller one and a bit faster in that particular sense, and it's kind of like a bit of a scout. There is a few more on horseback which do travel much further ahead of the party to make sure that things are handled okay.
So as proper outriders.
Proper outriders,
Yeah,
yes.
of course.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a slow trundle through the roads.
Are anyone armed with guns?
Yeah, the American is.
Of course he is.
He's working for the group of 4?
Yes, he's working for the group of 4.
I'd like to talk to these birds.
Who's going to look after travelling, riding the,
Do you trust
driving?
anyone?
Do you trust me with vehicle handling?
You're probably riding your board.
What's if
I can tie the ball.
If-
It's
we're
actually
travelling
the
along.
skilled vehicle use that no one uses.
Yeah, I have it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I had it the whole time.
If we're like trundling along, am I not in a position to be able to call out to them while I'm driving? Or is it too far away?
Come on.
It's not. It's a distance where it's not a personal conversation like we are having right now. It's more of a distance where you could be yelling out and it'd be pretty obvious what you're doing.
Hey,
You'd be
you,
yelling
in the back of
across
the
street
van.
kind of thing.
Oh,
Candy.
it's
Oh, wait.
me going. and people were like, oh, he's talking to the birds.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I'm honestly okay with that, but if someone else wants to drive and is good at it, then,
So
The
not
only
ever.
person.
I mean, aren't you on your board still?
I have
pretty much like
proficiency
a
in all
rest
vehicles.
You know, being ridden.
Okay.
He got ridden pretty hard.
You just
They
basically
were
just latch it to the
to the back.
and yeah, just start riding the car.
Okay, well, if I'm guessing this like we're at a walking pace.
Yeah.
This car. So I'll
Worst case, we can put the ball up in the back of the candy pillar on the plush dragon's horn. What, are you going to use the plush dragon's horn?
Yes. That comes later.
Once we go to bed.
I'm
Pick
so
a
happy.
bit now.
Okay, I'll hand the reins off to Antoine and say, here you go.
I think so.
I'll hop down and walk alongside
You walk alongside. Yep.
the bird now.
It's a nice casual walking pace. It's not fast in any particular way, and you probably noticed that. This is pretty typical of cars. It's just that you're just hauling a lot of stuff, from what you can see. It is unknown what's in those 4 carts at the moment. They're all covered. There are lots of boxes on the very back one. It's obviously what the menagerie of birds is hauling. That's pretty easy, and it's pretty easy to know what the Clydesdales are doing. Other than that, yeah, pretty simple stuff.
Okay. The guy that has the birds, does he have any arcane focuses, symbols, or religious iconography upon him?
No, but he is from the 9 Deserts.
Okay.
He has that very typical sort of white bluish turban. That's olive dark skin and the beard happening. The pants, the typical Arabian sort of looking pants and whatnot. So yeah, you probably noticed him straight away.
Yeah, I'll chat with him in a minute.
What kinds of birds are they?
The birds, well, there's a whole heap of
Birds,
different
little
birds.
small birds. Candy
Small birds, big
lots of
birds,
Candy
big birds,
birds.
big yellow bird. No.
Some as big as your head.
Um,
Can it
From
please
the
be a
twist.
yellow bird?
In the back of the cage, is there a pair of boobies?
I did consider that.
And a pair of tits.
In a pair of tits, yeah.
Oh no, you need the great tits.
Not the great tits? Alright.
Alright, so there is, from what you can gather, before you approach, and this is pretty much what everyone can kind of see, there is a weirdly coloured parakeet. Well, it looks like a vulture. You know it pretty well as a vulture. There is a really large cage, which is probably the central of them all. It's the biggest one. So all the other ones are small in comparison to this one. This one takes up like half the size of the car. It's basically an eagle.
Ooh, a regular sized eagle?
No, it is a regular sized eagle, but it's still very big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a regular size.
I was gonna say,
As opposed
what
to
kind
giant
of
eagle.
eagle?
As opposed to a giant eagle, which is like 7 to 8 feet tall.
I've seen them and will be able to turn into them eventually.
There's also
I don't
a
know
smaller
what
cage
to
with
see
what
to
looks like a falcon of some type.
To dissect doing.
Jesus. What?
There's another one which you think is a dove, and another one which looks like a off-coloured raven.
Slightly green.
Standing on repertoire all the
Well,
time.
instead of being like that pure black that you would normally know ravens, there's this one as it gets closer towards the neck and the head, turns into a shade of brown.
Who's a pretty bird?
All of them. That's why they're in a cage.
And that's all of the birds that you can see.
Okay. It's gonna be fun.
You can't change into birds yet, can you?
I cannot.
Okay.
I'm 2 levels down.
Flightless birds, you could.
You can turn into a
Because otherwise it'd be hilarious. Wait,
penguin.
I had 7 birds here before, not 8.
I can't turn into anything with a fly speed.
Yes.
Is the official mechanic.
So-
So, climb into the cage and turn into an ostrich.
Or a cassowary.
Right.
Oh god.
Could you turn,
Cassowary.
could you turn into a bird with broken wings?
I feel like I could turn into a baby bird because they can't fly yet. Maybe.
Well,
Because, like,
I'm happy for the purposes of game and narrative that you can change into a bird, you just can't fly.
You haven't learned how yet.
Oh, that's better than the option I had, which was to get a bird break its wings so you could change into a
God, you're a monster.
We've
Hey, you can heal
established
it
that.
up.
For the greater good.
The greater good.
Greater good.
Just expose him to huge trauma just so that we can have something useful.
Yeah, done that before.
Done it once, we'll do it again.
Okay. I'm actually much curious about this very big eagle. I'm gonna like approach the big eagle and say, "Hello."
Yeah.
You're extremely large.
So the opening line is essentially, "Hey there, big boy."
Or a polite way of saying, you're a fat bastard.
You know what? Can I make a nature check to see if this very big eagle is in fact a giant eagle, it's just not fully grown yet?
You can try, yeah.
A baby giant eagle.
Yeah.
Baby giant eagle.
They look like regular eagles.
Yeah, but whether it has like downy feathers and
Yeah, let's go. That's a 15.
It looks like a regular eagle.
Okay, that's quite large.
Yeah, it's basically just craning its neck. It hears you and sort of like doesn't really respond to you all that much. Like he goes, nah. Like nonchalant, doesn't really care for you all that much.
He's being aloof. Okay.
It's playing hard to get.
Yeah.
Did any of the other birds respond to me?
The dove is like, talk to me, 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 hi, 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 hi,
What's your name?
hi.
Would you like some seeds?
Yeah.
We're calling him Clive.
no, I'm calling him crystal meth.
I was just going to call him the Joker.
Crystal for short.
I tossed the dove some seeds.
I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Just like mind overload.
Just like
seeds.
jumps down, like jump down into the bottom of the cage, starts eating all the seeds. Jump, back up.
Now that I'm this close to all of them, does it look like they're being well taken care of?
Yeah, they actually look like they're really being well taken care of. The cages are clean. Their bird seeds mostly full. I think the dove was just happy to have more from some stranger. Water, they got like a few little bits and pieces here and there of like little baubles and mirrors that they can sort of play with and whatnot. And the general feeling from them as you talk to them is that they're not that badly put out. They're kind of like being in cages long enough to probably just be, that's just the way life is now.
Yeah, so no Great Escape.
I was considering it. I was seriously considering like the whole Great Escape sort of scene where.
One of them's in solitary confinement.
Yeah, yes. I was kind of like, there's like an eagle with like a metal cup in its claw.
This is quite the moral quandary for Owen, but yeah. Once he's like said hello to the birds and spoken to the birds that want to talk to him, he'll like return to the candy pillar.
Okay.
Rowan,
Yeah.
bird's okay.
Yes.
Good enough for me.
I mean, they're fine, but they're in cages.
The vulture is got like little strips of dried meat that have just been sitting at the bottom of his cage, and he's as you were approaching and to talk to him, he's just like sitting there ripping at the meat with his beak.
Oh, okay. Oh.
He's like you look at him and he's like looks at you back and gives you like the
It's my mate.
and goes back to pecking at his meat.
It's my mate.
I don't know how I feel.
We're all slaves to something, Rowan. And I go back to modifying the car's
God.
exterior.
Why does nobody ask my permission first?
So I'm actually going to use all 50 foot of my knotted rope most of my pittance, just to get like sort of a cargo net going around the outside of the thing.
Oh, hey, buddy. Can you give me a ride home? Sure, thanks. Just because you're in my car doesn't mean you can benefit.
Yeah, remind me never to give you a lift anymore.
You're lucky you've got the card. If you had done that to the horse, it would have been a whole different game.
Winnie, no!
That's terrible. Hilarious, but terrible.
No, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna go up to the driver of that wagon. So get off the car,
Yep.
walk up,
up.
and greet him in desert speak.
Yep.
Does the morning greet you well?
The morning greets me well, my friend. Ah, it is good to hear the native language every once in a while. I am Kabir. Full name, of course, is Kabir al-Shahiraida.
And Amir bin Turan bin Bu.
It has been a pleasure.
Perhaps I could sit and talk for a while.
By all means, come up and have a chat.
You
This
have
is a
some
very
brew as well.
This is a very long trip, so it is good to be able to talk to other
That's
people.
not a morning.
Yay! I mean, like, it depends who you are. But everything's a morning drink.
I'm talking about civilized people. It's fine, I'll explain later.
You calling me uncivilized?
Yes.
Well, we're not having this conversation.
Touche.
She's just talking to herself.
No change
Just
there.
no change
No,
there.
not herself. To her barrel. Her alcohol. She's talking about alcohol.
I just picture you hugging the alcohol going, I love you, man. You're the only one that understands me.
No, she's probably still moping about the dent in her barrel. It still has the dent in it.
Yes.
She's still moping about
She's
that
like
a little
hugging the
bit.
barrel going, I want you inside me.
Have you taken a swig from that dented barrel yet to see what happens?
It's been a month.
She's been drinking other ale. She's been working at a brewery.
Oh, fair enough.
She's probably gonna, at this point, with nothing better to do, investigate it.
Wait,
and
didn't
be
I
like,
cast Mendon to fix it anyways?
I don't think we did.
No, I told you you need to bring it to me, that's why you
Yeah.
never did.
Kabir.
Yes, my
Yeah.
friend.
Do you know much about the lands here?
The lands in this particular part of the world are very interesting. As far as I know, we will be traveling northwest and then eventually start heading more west. We will be traveling around the mountains, where they go. We are traveling on a slightly longer route, if I'm being told by the others, because the direct route is going through a place that has a small village. It is, unfortunately, this village, from what I've been told, is haunted, and the caravans avoid it. I think it's a mixture of caravans and as well as banditry in that area that they're avoiding
It
it.
seems a lot of areas here are what we would refer to as possibly cursed, or bad luck.
It is one of those unfortunate things, I think, with Mousillon taking over. It is the land has, I don't know if it's reverted or it's changed. It is unfortunate the way things work, but we are going on a slightly longer route, probably another week to our journey because of it, but we will be traveling around the mountains.
Have you been to the Black City?
I have not been to the Black City for, well, at all. But I know that they have a lot of nobles there, and nobles always wanting to buy exotic things, and exotic birds are the things that I sell.
In Mousillon, do you know if they follow a dark path?
There are rumors, that's all there are.
As I have heard as well.
Some would say that the dark path that they lead would be more about how they treat their leadership, I guess. How they treat themselves in leadership, I should say. They see themselves as above everyone else, debaucherous, spendthrift, and not very good in economic management, per se.
Sounds like my cousin.
Sounds like my cousins too. But unfortunately they are doing it at such a level where the rest of the country is suffering from it. So thus there are less patrols on the roads to keep the curses at bay, to keep the banditry at bay, and so on and so forth. Particular towns, as you've probably seen while you're in Summerport, falling apart as they have no money flowing into them to keep the maintenance going. Various different things like that. That is probably the most obvious problem that has extended from this. And perhaps maybe one of the Mousillon might rise up and see what they need to do. Defeat Nero, per se.
The group that I'm traveling with fairly new to this area, and we would like to learn as much as we can while we are here. If there is, it is said that any good merchant listens for opportunities and finds potential dangers.
Of course, my friend.
If you find anything interesting, any rumors or that, if you could share that with us, we can perhaps look after your assist with looking after your wagon as well.
There is two things that we do need to know in the short term of the journey at this present moment in time. First, for the first week of this particular travel, it will mostly be open land, farmlands, most of that type of stuff that's supporting the general populace. To the west of this road, a reasonable amount of west, is what they call the Mast Forest. The reason why they're called the Mast Forest is because the trees themselves are very tall, very thin. Sorry, not thin, very tall, very straight. And of course they build a lot of the ship masts from these particular trees. So that's why it is inherently be called the Mast Forest. Whether it had a different name previously, it probably did from the Fae. But beyond that I do not know. But that is a forest that is quite further to the west, even southwest of Summerport itself. But however, as I said, we were traveling probably 4 or 5 days, maybe 7 days, depending on how long the journey takes, in open farmlands west of Summerport. Once we have traveled there, then we will travel through a small forest. This small forest is at the base of a set of hills to the south of the forest itself, and it's because of that bunch of hills that makes our travel going through in a direct route where we want to go a little bit difficult. So we will be traveling through this forest. This forest is a light forest, and then we'll be traveling over to a river, and then we'll do a stop off at a village. I have the names of all these things on my map, which I've completely forgotten to print out.
That is fine. Perhaps one of my companions would have a look at the map and make some notes on his own part.
By all means, I'm happy to. There is a few copies going around, so it is probably okay to get one off, especially if you talk to the guard captain of the other 4 caravans. You'll probably have one spare to hand out. Once we have travelled to that village and we stay over there for a day or two, then we have a bit of a problem of either travelling north through the haunted village, through the valley where the haunted village is, of which the caravan has already chosen not to go, or we go through a valley. And this valley is also known for banditry too. The best of a worst situation. It is there that you will probably learn where your skills and talents will come to your fruition. Once we have cleared that particular pass, then we'll head west again, because essentially heading left is turning south. We are mostly travelling northwest, then mostly west after that. It's a mixture between north and west. We travel a little bit further south to sort of get through that valley, and then we head back up again to go around the mountains. The mountains are well known in this particular part of the world, where the mountains actually have an abandoned dwarven citadel in the mountains. You can see the peaks of this citadel from the road itself as we travel through. It's a very interesting sight. And then from there we are not far from the territory of Baston. So that is the territory where we are in Leonis now at this present moment of time, territory-wise. Yes. And then we will travel over the border into Baston. And then once we've gone from Baston, then we'll go into the territory of Mousillon. And then we'll make the final journey into the Black City. That is what I remember of the first part of this journey through Leonis. we'll get to the next part of it when I get back maps.
It's very good to know. Make small talk
Yep.
for a while,
Yep.
chat, sort of sound him out, and then come back and relay some of the information to everyone else. Especially the part about the choice to go through a haunted village or through a valley of bandits.
Both have
Bandits.
got bandits, but the Valley of the Bandits is the choice direction at this present moment of time.
And Amber is 100% fully on board with that. She does not like ghosts.
I can't think why.
She does not like the undead at all.
Why is that?
Bag
Poor
of ash.
bag of ash.
You might be right about that.
You might be white about that. That's bad. That's so bad.
While
It
those
was a
guys
wraith
were
anyway.
doing their thing, Amber would have been investigating her barrels. The first chance she's really had to
Yep.
actually sit down and go,
Yep.
I have nothing better to do.
Nothing better to do. This is a long trip.
Then sit and check on the one thing she's been anxiously worried about and put it
You're-
aside.
You're probably sitting there doing your books, probably do some maths in
I was
your
probably
head.
still building the pintle mounts for the.
Probably. Oh, there's so much time.
Hmm.
You've already gone past your first day. It's been a very boring farmland sort of travel.
The
I've
one thing I
probably-
have to say, the first time I go to bed in the caterpillar,
Yes.
I just sort of like look at it for a really long time and sort of like crawl into it, move around a bit,
It's like a loose beanbag.
lie down a little, and just sort of like eventually end up curling around into like a fetal position and falling asleep.
And you end up loving it.
Basically.
I once he's fallen asleep, I just poke my head in, see him go, I close up, and then just like jump, going like hooray.
The quiet jump.
Sign,
Yeah.
the quiet jump. I was like going,
Silent
he likes it, he really likes it.
I try to remember the scenes so I can cast major image of that at a later point.
Yeah, see what happens when you do
Of
that.
a 20-foot long dragonborn on a pile of gold.
That would be intimidating, actually. To just snoring and drooling into your gold.
Don't really drool, it's just trails of smoke.
Was the
Or
barrel
steam,
full
because you
function?
would drool, but
Yeah.
it's just too hot.
So she's
We
trying
already
to,
established that last time.
she's gonna mope over to
It's just a dint in it now.
she's gonna mope over to Imperius.
Who is busily in his books.
Yeah. Imperius. Yes. Might I bother you for a moment?
If you must.
I mean, it's rather important to me, a little bit, kind
Okay.
of.
Yes.
Well, she'll pull out her barrel and sort of like sheepishly play like, could you fix it?
Yes. Yes. Simple task.
Oh, really?
Just leave it with me. I'll fix it up.
All right then. Thank you.
And then go about casting. Yeah.
And she's gonna like happily like almost skip off.
Christian,
Take
get knocking the frame off.
the castle walls and.
So we're in the
We
second
only have
day
green
then,
screen.
are we?
Sorry?
Second
We're,
day.
it's kind of a bit fluid where we are. There's no. We want to make sure we get past the understanding of
Yep.
him going for the bed for the first time. I'm not going to like do it day by day for a 2 to 3 month journey.
Okay.
Yeah,
But why
This is
not?
where you need a montage.
Montage.
You're leading.
You attempt to fix the item. It doesn't work.
Interesting. I will keep going.
It's a magical item
Mhm.
per se. So
Which mending can fix.
it can, but it's not.
Which is interesting.
And has other ale she can drink happily in the meantime.
I am going to spend some time on this and keep trying and
Yep.
try other methods.
You try other methods. You hit it. You get to the point where you've had so frustrated with all your spell work not working, you heat it up
Mm.
to try and melt it into place.
Mm.
Doesn't work. You get to a point where you just steal one of his hammers very so briefly and try and smash it back into place, and it doesn't do anything.
As soon as I hear that clang, I'm just like,
Yes, pretty
look
much.
over. What are you doing?
Nothing. Going to use Mage Hand Silent Cast to shift the hammer over the top of his head and onto his desk while he's not looking.
Yeah, no, I see that. What were you doing with my hammer?
Trying to fix something.
Fix what?
This goddamn tanker.
Barrel.
For you, it's a tank.
It's
Pretty much. It's a barrel with a handle.
Would I be like taught anything about repairing magical items while I was training?
to you know it's the never-ending ale of hers.
You would
Yeah.
know.
As far as I know, it's still treated the same way as a normal item. You just got to be a little bit careful sometimes, because if you put it to extremes too much, like put way too much heat into it or too much cold into it, or you're going from you're quenching part of your smithing,
Yeah.
those extremes can destroy the magic in them sometimes. And if you're aware of that, you know how to fix it generally.
It's a good thing we don't have a forge yet, because I would have gone to those extremes.
I have a question.
You just wait. We're gonna get one.
That should be a relatively easy fix.
I know, and it's just not working. Even with my spell work, it's just not happening.
Interesting.
What if you had pushed it out from the inside?
I wouldn't put your fingers in there.
There's a finger floating in my brew.
I grab it, have a look,
Yep.
and I get a couple of my tools and start trying to like push in the area and give it a bit of
You
a.
give it, you put like a crowbar in there, and then you just basically just use brute strength just to sort of test it out, and you pop it back into place. You hear the pop as it pops back into place, and you go, take the crowbar out, pops back in.
You see what I mean?
Damned magics. And I just sort of like put all my stuff away and I go outside.
What if you filled it with cement?
What cement?
If you kill it,
It's a
Emma will kill
grouting
you
used
all.
on castles. It's like mortar, but not the one that fires things.
Oh no.
Amber will go on a rampage
It
if you were to
would
abolish it.
solve one problem but create another.
Did I hear all this like banging and yelling?
Yes, you would have.
I assume at this point I was just running through a meadow next to the convoy going, oh, butterflies!
Yeah. Yeah, all that type of stuff.
When I hit the banging and cursing, I'll like,
You probably think it's someone hammering something into the wagon.
yeah, and I'm like, I swear to God, really? Oh.
He goes to open the door. I swear to God, really. And I'm like standing there about to walk out.
I
I just sort of like punch through.
How did that thing get damaged anyway?
I don't know, I didn't do it.
It was at the jail.
Go find Amber. How did they get damaged?
What?
That thing that they are failing to fix.
What?
The barrel thing.
They're not fixing it?
They are trying. They had a problem. We'll get to that later. How did they get
Oh.
damaged?
Well, I don't know. They stole it from me, the guard. Okay, so, we went, you know when you got us? From the jail? Rowan and I? Were you there that episode?
No.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
you weren't there
You
that
weren't there.
episode.
You missed that one.
This is why you don't know, okay.
I may have been having a very violent shit. It happens every couple of weeks.
You should probably see a physician about that.
To explain, that's the excuse used whenever I'm not there for a second.
I mean, you should maybe not eat so much sand.
That coffee really gets you.
fiber though.
I assume
It's
I've,
exfoliation from the inside out.
I assume I've noticed
Scours.
that
It gets
they're
everywhere. It's brilliant.
Scours.
fixing it. I'm actually going to walk over and go, may I?
No problem now.
I look at it and I'm actually going to take investigation check on it. Can I see any markings, runes, anything
Why were you
that
put in jail?
I do not recognize
see-
or seems to be scratches, damage that is
I'm not
not.
really sure.
Do an investigate check.
Can I borrow a dice? I don't have any.
You don't have your dice again?
I do, but I didn't take them out. Hang on a sec. I forgot to. My bad. Yeah, I know, right?
Remember, it's a role-playing game. You don't need
Well,
dice
in
to
the
roleplay.
meantime,
And
can we
yet you
finish our
didn't
nonsense?
put wisdom as your
Yes.
jump stat.
Wisdom's actually one of my best.
Yeah, finish yours.
Oh, well, when we were in jail, you see, well, they kept
Yeah,
going.
um,
Oh, back in What was the town we just came from?
Southport.
That one.
Okay.
We were in jail, yes. I don't exactly remember why, but I do remember that before we were, rescued from the jail, we were in the office of the fellows, and Rayleigh was doing something to their drink, and I think he might have made them need to go to the toilet. Like, thoroughly.
Thoroughly.
And she's just like brain spaced a little bit. You'd have to pull her back.
So the
Huh?
someone took your tank, they took your barrel, and
Oh yes, yes. So the guards brought it back eventually. It was quite a battle. They didn't want to give it back. I don't remember how we convinced them. I think we bribed them. I wasn't paying attention.
I'm guessing not robbing them with ale.
I should have done that. No, my ale wasn't with me. You weren't listening. And they gave it back to me, and there was a dent in it.
Do you want that as inside investigation or perception?
I didn't answer any of your questions.
Investigate? 23 then.
Yeah, you've never really paid attention to this thing before. This is probably the first time you've actually looked at it. It's essentially
been allowed to look at it.
Yeah,
probably.
probably.
Can I
It's
see?
There's a
essentially a
reason
mix.
to give it to Imperius, because he's the only person she trusted with it.
Can I
It's alright.
see any like?
But they're all passing around. She has no idea. She has full faith in Imperius.
Can I see any scratches or things that look like physical damage?
Yes. There's a dent in the side of it.
But like, has the dent got like a scratch in the paint that indicates a sharp weapon or being bludgeoned against something heavy, or is it just a dent?
Yes.
Is it a
Yes.
rounded dent or an angled dent?
Making sense.
Is it a round dent? Round dent.
Yeah.
So it's a
So
rounded dent
It's
into.
probably someone's head rather than the corner of a table.
I have a plan. Now, I've been like
A barrel is not an animal, you can't change into one.
I've been a hermit for many, many years, but prior to that,
You could change into a fish, a tiny little goldfish, and we'll put you in the barrel to see what happens close up.
prior to that, my clothes were nice because they were fake.
Yeah.
Can I like rummage through like the clothes I've got on and try and find like a strip of fabric that's still like not awful?
If you get one that's semi-awful, I can clean it.
I mean, I feel like Amber is the only person not in the cut.
The only thing you managed to pull out that you think that might actually be, in its still in its original condition is one bit of twine.
Oh, my clothes have seen better days.
It's also been over 100 years.
What are you trying to do?
Well, if you can't fix it, just cover up the damage.
You were thinking.
Just put something around it.
You were thinking correctly, but you were approaching it from the wrong fashion.
Can I?
No.
Can I
Leather
pour
cover
a bit
for
into my
the
hand?
barrel.
I'm going to do that. Does it look
With
and
like
smell
a little
like
bit of tooling on
alcohol?
there and things like that.
Is the
It's
flask
a beer. It's an ale.
is the flask refilling?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I
I stopped caring.
I
Take it back.
I go find
Must be.
Amber
Yep.
and ask her about the thing, and like
I've taken it back from her.
it's
Yeah.
almost impossible to fix. Why? What did you do?
What do you mean? I didn't do
I
anything.
leave.
I'm sorry,
I
what?
want to cast Identify on it.
You cast identify on it.
Yeah. So
Alright,
what is the
you
actual
will take some
official
time. You're doing it
title?
as a ritual, I assume, so it'll take some time while they're doing this.
What?
I tried fixing your tankard,
Why did you try fixing my tankard? I thought I gave it to Imperius.
and he couldn't fix it.
Oh.
So I tried fixing it. I managed to get the dint out, and then I
How did you
removed my
fix it?
tools, and the dint reappeared.
Yeah, that seems about as good progress as I made. Alright. No, that's not okay!
Hang
you
on.
can't go messing with my
Hang on.
tankard like
Hang on.
that.
I just suddenly had a massive. I'm actually going to roll an insight to whether I can even say this. 3. I'm not going to say it, but I think I know what's actually happened with the tankard.
Okay.
So it's returning to its natural state. Its natural state now has a dent in it, so it's always going to return to the state of being full.
I'm
and
pretty sure I
have
know what's
empty.
happening, but Imperius
Yeah.
hasn't worked it out just yet.
Yeah.
Because there was an anti-magic barrier in that area, I feel like the magic was taken off it, so when it was dinted, it was permanently dinted, so when
That
the magic
makes a lot of
returned, it
sense.
will return itself back to that constant state.
Oh no.
But Amber doesn't understand that either.
Yeah, it's damned magics.
Yep, that makes sense.
That's
took
why
me
I
a
don't
while
like this
to-
magic stuff.
I didn't do anything
How
to it.
big
The
is
guards
the
did it.
dent?
Sorry?
How big is the
Of
dent?
course, those
look,
scumbags.
Yes!
2 inches round. So it's a round dent, so it's like 2-inch dent. And it goes about half an inch deep.
So has it affected the item at all? It still works, doesn't it?
I mean, it's 2 by 2 inches squared less alcohol in my barrel than
It's
I'm not too.
infinite alcohol! It doesn't matter!
It refills once
Imperious.
you turn it
That's
back up.
not the
Give
point, that's the
me
principle.
a battle. I have idea.
Okay.
Oh god, if you guys destroy this, she's
No,
gonna
no,
be so upset.
Bring the barrel back to Andor.
Oh, no.
I have an idea.
What are you doing with my barrel? I gave it to Imperius.
I'm explaining idea to you.
Where's
you see-
Imperius?
He is contemplating possible solutions to fix battle. I have better solution
Oh?
to fix you.
What?
You see, there are two problems. One is that the battle is like this and you do not like it. So
Yes.
either you fix battle or you fix you. So what I intend to do is make you like Tintin battle. Understand?
No.
Follow on. You see, what you do is you put a sign saying, this is what happened to the head of the last person who drank from my barrel. And with a big dent there. So now you have security measures so people will not steal your ale. See? That is better than good looking barrel.
But that's what my axe is for.
But sometimes you'll be out cold, unconscious, drunk on the table.
No, that's not me.
It has happened.
No.
Twice.
No. Wait, has it? No, it can't have. I don't recall this.
Exactly. That means
No, I'm pretty sure I've been sober.
I mean,
The entire me.
you've technically been under the table the times you were at the table.
Yes. I was drinking under the table, but I wasn't passed out under the table. I was the table.
Literally.
The
jumped
only
into
time
the
that she has passed out and turned up somewhere she doesn't know how she got there was when we got arrested. That's the only time in the whole time that we've been together. So now she's questioning herself. Because that's when this happened.
This is where the AA meeting starts.
Now she's really uncertain.
I don't have a problem, guys. Shut up.
the DA meeting, Dwarves Anonymous.
Yolan, could you forge me an iron ball?
If you buy me the raw material, I could do it very easily.
Surely he's got an
I just don't have any iron on me at the moment.
Don't make it big and small.
So about that musical episode.
Yes! I'm surrounded by idiots.
You are one.
So am I.
What'd you like at that?
See, you give everyone a cool dagger to stab their enemies and defend their life. In return, you get a plush cat bed in the corner.
It's more comfortable than your damn hammock.
I'm gonna ignore all the arguing and bullshit and just get out.
Even though I, of course, half of it.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. That's Rayleigh for you. Come on, cause problems, walk away. I'm gonna walk up.
Causing problems and walking away, mate.
I'm
You
gonna
could be a
walk up
wombat
to the
later.
carriage with the lady in it.
Oh
I'm gonna walk up to the carriage with the lady in it because I want to know who I'm defending. Why am I defending them? So I'm gonna walk up, other than just getting paid. So I'm actually gonna walk up to that carriage and say hello.
I'm going to assume that you're still putting Amber through a midlife crisis.
You hear talking from within. No, that will not do. We can't have that one. No, we have to mix that one up a bit, and I think we need to put that one up a bit. Can you reattach that one and resort to that particular section?
Oh god.
Seamstress of some sort.
Pretentious.
Fashionista.
And yeah, she's going on like that.
So she didn't even pay attention. I'm just gonna eavesdrop for a while.
You
Or just
guards around the caravan.
I'm a guard too. So I'm just walking alongside that caravan.
Your
So I'm-
backup plan should be, oi, lady!
no, I'm just gonna make small talk with the guards around the caravan and listen in on what they're doing.
Yeah. You hear bits and pieces as she's going on. She's basically going on about She's basically planning her outfit for the next day.
Okay. I'm going to turn to one of the guards and go, who's in there?
Or that's Lady Astrid.
Lady Astrid.
Lady Astrid, wife of Hunbert.
Sorry?
Lady Astrid, the wife of Hunbert.
Who's Hunbert?
Hunbert is the gentleman who's the husband.
Yeah, but is he someone important?
Of course he is.
Well, I don't know. Who's
Neither
Hunbert?
do I, but obviously with the title of lady, as she likes to put it, and the amount of caravans she's got going, and the amount of money throwing out to have 20 odd guards,
Fair enough. Do you know if they're Mousillon or?
don't know. I don't think so.
Fair enough. Well, have a good day anyway, and I'll just dawdle back down the caravan's line. And I'll actually have a look at the Clydesdale's caravan, because I'm stopping at each one, just checking out who's there.
As I said, in this particular one, there's the half-orc there who's got the pretty plain clothing, not too many colours or anything like that. They're clean, but they're like old and worn. So he's got his shirt, it's got especially along the wrists and stuff like that, and up the area here. So it's been cleaned, but there's like wear, fabric's a bit faded and stuff like that. Like most of these people, these clothes they wear for years and years and years on end, and just repair them as they go. So it's got like stitching here and there where it's got rips and stuff like that. And you probably see a patch on like the left elbow or something like that to see if it kept going.
Greetings.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Let
Charisma
me-
2.
Let me scroll up.
-2.
Huh?
I'm Grundle.
Grundle. What do you do?
I sell ale.
Have you by any chance met, damn it, what's his name? I'm trying to think back.
Gale?
Gale, ain't it?
No, I've had dealings with him, yeah.
Fair enough. So you're heading to Mousillon territory too?
Hey.
Good talk. And walk off.
It's a half-orc.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I didn't give a shit
Yeah,
about
but he's also
any of the
half
people I was
human.
talking. Yeah, I didn't give a shit about any of the people I was talking to. I was just checking them out.
Where's your
Always
sensei, by
put
the way?
Like the worst half of it, getting specific.
Actually, that is a good question. Where is Shenley?
Where is what, sorry?
Shenley?
The monk.
The monk. He's on a horse, he's got his own horse, and he's just basically travelling beside the caravan.
Okay.
Oh, good. I just imagined he was just sitting in our cart staring at me while I was working at my books.
No, he's pretty self-sufficient. He's got his own horse that he's travelling on, and basically travelling beside the cart.
Yeah, I nod to him as I'm walking past and keep going. Just like the slow monk nod thing. In fact, I'm basically, to get to the front and the back, because I'm lazy, I'm just going to stand still.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
So did I work out what the thing is yet by identifying?
Yes. It's a magical tankard / barrel / weird concoction of thing put together that essentially is re-summoning ale on a permanent basis.
Is there like ways that I could potentially reset what it summons, or do I understand the mechanic of it?
A tiny little gateway to the elemental plane of beer.
Yeah.
See, the funny thing is that Rowan and Amber are the only two people that know. Correction. Rowan is the only person that knows that we were in an anti-magic area.
Yeah.
That's why I said I know what it is. Period. Doesn't.
No, that's exactly it. And Amber doesn't know. She doesn't do magic, so she has no idea.
I didn't even know you were in jail.
Yeah.
I remember that time we were in jail.
Yeah, believe
Do
me,
you remember
I
that
know.
time
I
we
had to
buried
pay
the dead
for it.
hooker?
I had to pay for it.
All Rowan knows is it sucked in there.
I feel like I'm the sugar daddy of the party.
Sorry.
Because you've got all the party funds.
We had to bury the dead hooker and you said I had to pay for it.
Yeah.
So,
Good
you still
times. So would I be able to work out that it could possibly be reset, like the magic to change what it constantly summons? Not if I have the power to do it, but is it capable of being done?
You'll always know that this stuff is always capable of happening, no matter what it is.
Plan set in motion, change it to non-alcoholic ale.
Look on your face.
No!
Just have to take it into anti-magic.
Wait, so you've done that already?
No.
Oh,
I don't
that's
have the
plan.
power to do it, but I know that it is potentially possible.
I mean, there's a spell called Dispel Magic, but I think it would just have it no longer working
Yeah.
ever again.
Then that's basically dispel my life. Because she will murder me.
You just create a decanter of endless water.
Yeah.
No, I fixed it.
Prestidigitation,
know.
prestidigitation,
It's
prestidigitation.
just water now.
No, I can just make it taste like alcohol. She just won't get the buzz.
I don't even know if she gets a buzz now.
This is just to feel normal.
Doesn't alcohol withdrawal have a chance of killing you? Like, legit?
She's a barbarian. She can.
Dwarves have like poison resistance.
I'm sure, yeah, they should get racial bonuses to resist alcohol, or the effects of alcoholism.
Okay.
After all, there's only so much beer you can put in your alcohol system.
Only so much
You
blood
put
you can put in
the
your
alcohol
system.
system, yeah.
Trundling along.
Trundling along.
I am going to sadly return it to Amber.
Rowan, I have a question for you.
Huh?
There is something that's been playing on my mind for a while, and I think perhaps you'd be the best person to explain it to me. I do seek knowledge as I travel this world, and there, with this whole design that you have, what is candy?
Oh. I've never had candy.
I do not think I have under that word.
It's something that tastes really good.
I have tasted many things that taste really good.
It tastes
None of them called candy.
sweet.
So anything that is sweet is candy.
No. Lots of things can be candy.
You are not making it any clearer.
Less.
My favorite is candied apples.
So you can turn an apple into candy.
No. You dip the apple into candy. That becomes a candied apple.
Ah, why do you not just have spoon into candy and eat like that?
It's healthier.
The next time there is candy for sale, can you buy some? I should try it.
Okay. I mean, we're going towards Bailiska, so there must be more candy.
You could, in theory, make candy. It's just boiled sugar.
Where do you get sugar?
From the shop.
I mean, we're passing a whole bunch of farms, right?
Yeah, it's just all the farms happen to be sugar farms.
I mean, I'm sure one of them would have sugar.
I mean, if you imagine Aris's France, it's not exactly the climate to cultivate sugarcane.
True. But they'd have sugar in their household, would they not?
I mean,
Maybe.
I feel like nobles would have it as like,
Look,
oh my
Amber knows
god,
about
we're so
much
wealthy,
about
we have
sugar.
sugar. And
Whatever you do not go to that lady's carriage and go, can you give me some sugar, baby?
Speaking of which,
Might think I was hitting on it.
I'm extremely curious.
I would think, because once I have had candy, I can make anything taste like candy.
Oh.
I have no idea what she's doing now. What are you doing now?
What does druidcraft do? It's just nature.
You can't grow a sugar cane.
Can't I?
Challenge accepted.
I didn't
Challenge
see.
accepted.
He's gonna have a sugar carriage.
Yes. I mean, I'm gonna have a carrot.
Suddenly
with
there's
a greenhouse.
chopped up lines of sugar on the benches.
I'm like, and there, here you go. This is for you.
I call that candy. You should try it on an apple. But the apple gets caught in your nose.
Okay.
That's a good point.
I have an interesting plan.
Yeah, they'd use honey.
Yeah, I was going to say, they wouldn't use refined sugar. You'd use honey or something similar to that.
You could use raw sugar
Yeah,
as well.
Sugar is a very expensive commodity in this time period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, I have an
It's a
idea.
sugar beet.
That's what I used before I had sugar cane.
I was looking at what Riley put on the roof, the ropes and the things like that.
It's horrible, isn't it?
No, it is opportunity.
For what?
There is something your design is missing.
Mm-hmm.
You have a garden up there.
I was gonna have a caravan that was all garden.
No, but this way, when we're sitting up there to have a lookout, we can be amongst the aromas of flowers.
Whoa! You hear a call from the front.
Black Betty.
The universe.
Man, my land.
What?
You see, as you guys are talking amongst yourselves and not really paying much attention, probably only you who's basically looking at the caravan behind you, which is the all barrels of ale.
Do you stop suddenly?
No, it's like a bit of a everyone stop and they slow down, and
Okay, good.
it's not like you're bumper to bumper or anything like that.
Right. I'm going to swing
The
myself
wheels
up.
skid as you lock the brakes up and fishtails out.
It's only because you haven't been paying attention. That's more reason why you haven't seen this. Up far ahead, in front of the very first caravan, you can see cattle. Lots of cattle walking across the path.
Free food.
What is fetch?
I walk up to like the front of the caravan and just have a look at what's going on.
It's like huge amounts of cattle being pushed through.
I stick my head out of one of the windows. What's going on? Why have we stopped?
Some idiot has let their cattle walk all over the road.
I can fix that. Fireball.
Oh yeah, you want to start another civil war?
Or a
Yes.
stampede.
A tasty civil war.
That was the problem last time.
It's some salt and some butter and a bit of garlic.
It's so civil, we'll be
Very
fighting
nice.
with napkins already tucked in.
Oh yeah.
No. Get the good silverware. We're feasting tonight.
Are there people like directing the cattle?
It doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Okay, be aware. Keep an eye out for bandits. It makes an excellent ambush.
Are there trees lining the sides of the road?
And that's pretty open farmland. There are trees like, you know how like kind of like a bit like modern day sort of farms, how there's like lots of trees that surround
Windbreaks and
squares
stuff.
yeah, windbreaks and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that which breaks the line of sight. So
Okay,
this looks like it's going
I
from-
sort of like try to peer very badly because I have shoot perception.
Yeah, I think paranoia states that that's what I'd be doing too. In fact,
14.
Yep, so you look at, and you probably see, you think to your right, where you believe the cows have come from, the paddock that the cows have come from, you can see someone with a staff coming down with a couple of dogs by the looks of things.
Just have a staff with a curl on the top.
With a what?
With a curl on the top. A crook.
Crook. Yes.
It's a shepherd like me.
Or a cattle herder type shepherd. yes.
Do
I-
I have
I-
bare feet?
I start trying
Sorry?
to like.
Do I have bare feet? Is it
Too
not
far
shepherd?
away, I can't
Yeah.
see. I
Honestly,
start
we
trying to
wanna
move the
make a
cattle
joke
through
about,
faster by like
crooks.
giving them a quick slap on the
Give me a
back.
quick slap on the thing, oh yeah.
Stop that.
There's a nice quick slap
hang
on
on,
the
hang on. You slap one of them into an elf.
This one was a joke.
I mean, I could make that happen.
I'm gonna talk to the cows. Hey cows, are you hungry? You hungry cows? You hungry? Huh?
No.
Do they look relatively well fed then?
This is a pretty grassy, temperate sort of area. So obviously just moving it from one paddock to another. Like most cattle, they've got nothing to do with their lives except eat grass. So you
Eat
just
grass
cycle them from
and
paddock
die.
to paddock.
Eat
Yeah.
grass and
Okay.
crap everywhere.
I'm gonna cast prestidigitation on myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like perfume to block the scent of 100 cows.
Yeah, pretty
I'm
much.
gonna go into the paddock that they're
Can I collect some
destined to.
manure?
If you want.
Sweet.
Like, that
I
better
need it.
not be an ingredient for you. It better be for alchemy and not for brewing.
It's part of my smoke bomb.
Okay. I'm gonna be
We
a
got
nice
this
guy.
station.
I'm gonna go into the paddock they're all like pouring into.
Yep.
Get like right around the middle. It's all just like grass and everything, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I cast plant growth.
Suddenly the grass in the paddock that they're going to suddenly starts growing up, and grass goes from this small little 3-4 inch long grass starts going and becomes like a jungle of grass.
You're welcome, sir. I walk away. You realise you just delayed them. No, it's boots.
So the very first set of cows that come into the paddock after seeing all this grass start eating. And all the other cows behind them, so they're trying to rush in, and they're sort of like pushing into each other to get to the grass. And they're kind of like creating a blockage, and they're not actually going anywhere forward because the first cows are not moving because they're eating grass.
Okay, I start squeezing through to get to the front ones and start pushing them forward.
Can you do it?
Accidentally tipping a
Can
couple
you do an
over.
athletics roll for me?
Pardon?
Do an athletics roll.
Can I try and ride a cow?
Roll a 2, but it's still a 10.
One of the cows, as you're trying to push through, because there is fencing in this area too, it's like stone fences and stuff like that, with a mix of wood, depending on the scenario. So most of it's, as we said before, the natural stone in the area, which is all the sandstone. So it's a mixture of sandstone and wood. You try and push yourself through the gap that you try and create and whatnot, and one of the other cows does a rush for that gap right behind you and squishes you up against the fence. You take a whole point of damage.
This cow's going to
-3.
get it.
What? If that's bludgeoning damage, you take 1 point -3 because you're heavy armor.
Don't take any damage. True.
You'll be fine.
Heavy armor master.
Unless
you
they're
take
magical
four-
cows.
You take 4 damage.
You just want me to take the 1 damage? I'll take 1 damage.
Or you can say that it's not bludgeoning, it's force damage.
Yeah, it's force damage, yeah.
Or you just
I
go to a minimum.
keep trying to just push cows out of the way and get them moving into the
Yep.
field so we can get the blockage away
Do
from the
a
road.
animal handling roll.
I made a mistake.
Yeah, this is not going to end well.
Cow. Animal handling impales cow.
I rolled the 1 and it's -2.
Animal handling.
Stampede.
Axe. Smack.
One of the
Animal
cows,
handling's as bad as
Stampede your
mine.
pants.
one of the cows comes up to you, trying to get to the grass. You're kind of like standing in the way of. They're cows. It licks your face.
It likes you.
I breathe smoke at it.
It licks your face again. Another cow comes over. It also licks your face because the first cow did, and realised how tasty you taste because of the salt sweat and whatnot. Licks your face again. Got 2 cows licking your face.
Wait. Nice day.
These are your biggest fans.
And they lick your face.
Literally biggest fans.
I just keep pushing their heads down and
Yeah.
like trying to push them away.
Cows are actually incredibly affectionate animals.
Yes.
They
yes.
are.
Hey,
I know.
Andy Soros is now following.
I know this person. Hi, Andy.
Hello. I will also wander up, and ahead of the blockage,
Yep.
I'm going to cast Major Illusion
Yep.
for a couple of cows eating an even bigger thing of grass.
Alright, yeah. Alright, let's see if they're convinced that that's a better place to go. No, this is where they are.
Okay.
Rowan, can you get these stupid animals moving again?
Is the mic
Okay. Wait, so essentially it's giant circle in the middle of a paddock.
It's at the front. It's more at the front of the paddock still, and they're mostly
Oh.
congregating around the
I
entrance
could
to
make you
the
taste like
paddock
chili so
itself.
they stop licking you.
Is there room around the perimeter of the plant growth I've made for lots of cows?
There is tons of room. They're just basically stopped right at the gate entrance,
Because
and
they're
more cows are trying to get through because they're not very bright.
Okay.
And all you have to do is move them forward, so there's room for the rest of them to get in.
Okay.
Probably best not to ask Amber to help.
Right.
Probably
I'm,
just two
I'm
hours
moments
now.
away from picking up one of these cows and throwing it into the field.
I'm
I was
just,
busy collecting
I'm just
food at the
laughing
moment.
at the
You're welcome to ask
Dragonborn
for
covered in
help if you
cow
want.
spittle.
Okay. I'm going to sidle up next to one of the cows causing a blockage.
Yep.
Make sure there's like a decent amount of space around me, which is going to be a challenge.
Mhm.
Like,
Right. Roll an athletics roll first to find to get past them and to find a spot that works.
okay, athletics.
3. Right. You also take a point of damage as you get squished on the fence from one of the cows that's trying to rush through in the gap you created.
Okay, so
If the 2 of you can't do it, I'm not going to even try.
I'm
You
about
know
to
what?
do the suggestion.
I'm going to have a go. I'm going to walk along the backs of the cows.
Yeet!
Yeet the boo boo!
Wait,
I wasn't really seeing the yeet part.
Can you cast enhance ability on him above his strength? So we can start throwing cows
No!
through the gap.
I'm not doing that! Okay.
It's the only way they'll land safely.
Have I made it like
No
to
one's
the
yet
front?
asked
Yeah,
everyone.
back to the front. Yes.
Okay, I will turn into a cow.
Alright, you turn into a cow.
I'll start munching on and be like, as I'm chewing.
As you turn into a cow, you notice amongst all the cows here, there's a bull.
Oh yeah.
That's bad planning.
I'll start munching and be like,
Well,
As you're busy
in
munching
your
on the
defense,
grass.
you were probably a very ugly cow. CRISPR 6.
The bull comes over as you're busy munching on the grass and like sniffs your butt.
I poop a little.
There's a new T-shirt.
Write it down.
Bad first dates of Alfeo.
I poop a little.
I poop a little.
And then you find out that the bull is actually German from the Empire.
Oh no. Okay, so I would like very much to like begin chewing and then like poke my head into the grass and be all like, oh my god guys, it's so much better the further in you get. And just like basically forward a path with my body to make cows
Pike
hide.
Okay,
them.
do a persuasion roll.
Oh my god, no. It's gonna say charisma what? -2. 10.
That almost ended up one.
You're struggling just to move some fucking cows.
Yes.
I'm gonna step in, and you're not gonna like it.
Would I be able to just lift one of the cows and move it further into the field?
Yeah. Give it a go. Do a strength check. Athletics check.
How?
That's called a hernia.
Hey, you roll a lot, didn't you? Just the dragonborn.
What
Roll me
does
another
prolapsed colon mean?
5.
Okay. Yeah, you something doesn't quite move the way you expect it to when you try and lift the cow, and you pull the muscle somewhere. You're at a disadvantage for the day.
For strength? Or just
Just a
everything?
disadvantage for the day.
Well,
You're in a little bit of pain.
So basically 1 point of fatigue.
Yeah. Kind of.
Do I eat the moves at a disadvantage?
Alright, now you're just going to turn around and cleave its head in, aren't you?
Getting close,
No
it's
one's
looking
on
like
for
it's
any
about to
yet.
become dinner.
Guys, oh my god!
I'm
There's so much food in here, guys, just come in!
I'm just going to stop laughing at them all for a second and just turn to the guy with the shepherd's crook and go,
Hey, you there, boy?
can you hurry him up?
Really, is it?
And at this point, I've immediately flicked a
Wait,
knife
who's
out.
saying
Who's
that?
saying that? Yeah.
It's the American guy.
Oh, it's American. I
Yeah.
don't flick a knife. What's up?
You still got your pistol, boys?
Nope, I've got him.
You got it. Have you got it on you?
Yes, it'd be with me.
And is it pretty obvious?
Probably not.
No,
It'd probably be in
his
my pack.
pack, because he doesn't use it himself.
Okay.
Oh no, I was using it.
You tried to once
doesn't
and
know how to
failed.
reload it.
You don't know how to reload
Yeah, I don't know how to
it.
reload it, but I
So-
got it on
Actually,
me.
I probably have my pistol with me.
Oh,
I was
you-
going to use that to signal if we're under attack.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I know anything about cattle handling, a couple of guns in the right places will get them moving very fast.
You'd also get a dwarf
Why do you
move.
That right place would be in the air, correct?
What else did you think it's supposed to go?
I
Don't ask him.
hobble now,
Yeah.
because I've pulled a muscle, to the back of where all the cows are.
Yep.
I gather up all the breath I can.
Wait, boy, you gotta do this right. You can do it from a three-pronged position if you want to join and do your thing. If you basically do it from the back anywhere, they'll spread out everywhere. If we have the gun points going off in different directions, they're all going to funnel into one spot, the only place they
Then
can go.
hurry.
Wait for the ye and the ha.
Well, you ready,
1,
boy?
2, 3.
You ready, boy? Let's do this. I'll head over to the other side, and then 1, 2, 3, we'll count down, and we'll do this shit.
Seeing that, I'm gonna pull out the pistol. That is-
Alright,
that
you
is
load
also-
yourself up
that
over
is-
there.
By the way, still not loaded.
Yeah.
Do I spot it unloaded?
Roll
really
a
good to tell.
perception check.
Well, you can
It'd
tell.
be the position of the flint would give it away.
10.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Give me that. Just take it off him and start
Start
loading
reloading.
it, and then I walk down.
You
to the
serious,
cabin.
boy? You carry around a gun and you don't know how it's loaded? Jesus Christ.
I would not
It's
question
not
his
my
ability
gun.
to fight
I've got my
properly.
gun back!
You can use a really loud black powder weapon for sneak attacks.
I'm actually going to load it, but not use it because it's got acid rounds, and I'm not firing an acid round into the air above us.
You had some normal rounds.
You had
and
normal rounds as well.
stuff. Yeah.
No, I used them all.
You can have some normal.
Okay, I'll
That's stupid.
Just fire wadding.
yeah, I'll fire.
You've got
one.
ball bearings.
Yeah, you don't even need the
Just
balls.
fire
Yeah, you
nothing.
don't even need the round itself. You just fire the gunpowder. Yeah.
Okay, well I'll just fire some gunpowder off into the air.
Alright, line yourselves up. You over there, position and whatnot. Give yourselves a bit of a U shape, and hopefully they'll go in the right direction, away from the sounds. We are all good? On 3.
One moment. I find a stone. When you call 3, I will throw into air.
Alright, I have no idea what that means, but alright, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
And at that point, I literally just let out a dragon roar and fire.
Yep. You let out a dragon roar. Alright, all the guns go off, your dragon roar goes off, and all these cows suddenly realise what's going on, and they stampede basically into the paddock they're supposed to go into.
Is Rory still at the front?
Yes.
There's this bull clumsily trying to mount you. And the bull's like got
You're the
both
new
its
lady
front
in the
legs on
field.
you, both its front legs in your back. You're not quite sure what to do, and you're kind of frozen a little bit.
Dex save.
You're kind of frozen a little bit, and then
You
all of a
pooped
sudden,
little, am I
all of a sudden
supposed
you
to
hear the,
poop?
all of a sudden you hear the explosions of all of the guns go off, and then suddenly all of the cows start stampeding into the thing. The bull's on the back of you, and then gets off and then starts running,
Okay, I'll run too.
and you guys run off further into the paddock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna see if I hit the rock.
No.
Okay.
You were trying to hit the rock?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like pigeon shooting.
Yeah, skid shooting. Why not? Is the better.
If you're gonna spend that.
And the cows
you
have
might as
now
well try
cleared
and
the
hit something.
path. By the time you guys have finished off firing your guns and reload, the person that you noticed was coming over the hill with the shepherd's crook was actually a halfling. With his 2 little dogs. Oh, thank you for that. I was not expecting that to happen.
You should keep better control of your herd.
Well, I wasn't expecting anyone to come through this particular part of the world. I didn't have to worry about such a thing.
How much would you sell one of your cows for?
They go for a pretty penny. The cows are very expensive and very hard to rear.
That is not a number.
I have no idea off the top of my head.
At this point, can I walk up in cow form?
Shoo cow.
Hello.
Fiddle potatoes. Oh, gone bunny. Oh, what are you? I've changed accent. I know.
These cows, are they for milk or for meat? Can you tell?
Well,
Oh, these cows, are they for milk or meat?
one of them is very randy.
Oh, these are for milk, my friend.
What?
Randy.
Randy, you know.
I wouldn't mind having
Randy,
a cow
baby.
around. Manure is quite useful.
Well, if
For smoke bombs.
If we purchase a cow, if it
It's a companion.
gives
And
us
his
milk, we
favourite
can have
thing.
fresh milk. If not, we have big barbecue.
How does Big Barbecue make you fresh meat?
What about 50 gold? 100 gold?
50 gold would be probably more than enough.
I was going to say,
I was going to say
probably
10
like
gold
10
is
or 20
probably
gold, yeah.
more than
Well,
enough.
you'd get a bunch of kilos of meat.
Yes, you
At the
would.
very
yeah.
least.
Which
They,
one?
50 gold's probably not bad.
Is it roadkill?
I was going off the prices of horses.
Yeah.
That's also draft rolls, right?
Yeah. true. Alright, we'll say 20 gold. Sure be a good enough price.
For a milk cow.
Do we want a cow?
You don't have a cow, man.
I want a milk cow. It's an endless supply of manure.
And you
I
can make
want a
bagels.
And milk.
Well, that too. But I have ale.
And a one-time supply of beef.
You can make it. You can make
Oh.
eggnog.
I'm sold.
We can probably fashion a prosthetic leg. If we need to.
You guys are horrible.
What if you order like a beef or something?
Yeah.
And if we get the cow rather than a bull, which we would need to have.
So now, if you're going to buy a cow, so you'll have pork from the riding pig.
Sometimes supply.
We have a walking feast.
Fresh feast on
always
hooves.
male.
I tell you what, lad.
Always male.
I tell you what. Yeah, totally good.
I'm going to buy it even if no one else wants it to go.
I want manure.
Is
I'm
it
a
a
goat.
milk cow
I'll take
or
goat.
is it
It's a
a...
dairy cow, yes.
Okay.
I'll throw in
Did
five.
you say, is it a girl cow?
No, a milk
Oh.
cow.
Yeah.
I'll throw in 5 gold for it. Or I could just, take it out of the party funds.
I'm just raising an eyebrow,
Or if we just-
looking at the caravan, looking at the landscape, realizing there's not going to be much food the closer we get to the mountains. Just
How
right,
many cows
Mia
are
knows what
there?
he's doing.
Sorry?
How many cows are there?
30, 40?
We can afford the entire herd.
We can.
I
We don't need the entire herd.
I make good berries. Food is not an issue. But good
Food's
To
not an
you.
issue because the caravan's supplying it.
Yeah.
We don't need
We've
food
got-
for this
we've got
entire trip because the caravan's
20
supplying
gold
it.
from the party fund will pay for it.
Done, you have a
You're
cow.
also misunderstanding the difference between need and want. I want a glass of cold milk in the morning.
But how do you get cold milk? Ah,
Presentation.
Magics! Damned magics!
I can have water taste like milk, but it's
Why
just
would
not
someone
the
from the
same.
9 deserts like milk? Wouldn't you
Oh,
like...
if I could get
Yeah,
goat's milk, I
camels.
would.
Yeah,
Camel
right,
milk.
that's
Camel
that's
or
what I
goat?
thought.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
cow milk
Yes,
would
not
taste
camel
weird.
piss wine.
No, it's not camel piss wine.
But do you see goats here? Or
No.
That's
camels?
another cheese.
Well, I
dish.
guess we're going to have to make
Yeah,
cow
cheese
cheese.
wine. Oh yeah, you and your cheese.
You mean cheese then?
Cheese.
The regular cheese.
But all,
Yes.
all it should
It's
say for
purple
that
cheese.
particular t-shirt is there's a camel wine with a picture of a camel behind it pissing into a
Yeah.
glass.
No, it's just camel wine and it's just the back end of a camel in a portaloo.
I have some ideas.
Alright, so you purchased a cow. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Alright, 20 gold. Here's your cow. It's got the bell around it, so if you get lost, you can listen for the bell.
It's got the Bella rat.
We might need to.
It's not a rat, it's a cow. It's Bella cow.
We might need to add some to that so we can have more cowbell.
Yeah. You can never have enough
I
bell.
actually have a bell in my inventory.
More cowbell!
More cowbell. Oh, you want more? Then give me a gold piece and I'll get you lots.
Hello.
Well, it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
I say to the cow, hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
Daisy. I was either going to be Daisy or Betty.
Yeah.
I was thinking Bessie.
Bessie.
Bessie,
Bessie.
yeah. Bessie.
Ah.
Her name's Bessie. Do you say that in common or cow?
Cow does.
Yeah. So that's basically
That's my name, don't repeat it.
Bessie. Would you like a good berry, Bessie?
Big tongue comes out, like licks it a little bit,
Look,
takes it out. It's good shit.
It's okay, she sends it. I assume that you know how to milk cows?
No.
Do you know how to milk cows?
Do I look like someone who knows how to milk cows?
I do not think it is
I
the
probably
type-
have a book on it.
I do not think it's the type of thing that you want an amateur doing.
Calves know how to milk cows because that's who the milk's for.
19 on the end.
So
of the
farmers
roll.
would as well.
He knows. I don't.
here know how to milk cows?
You just cut it open, right?
Thanks for volunteering not to be on cow milking duty.
Normally I do
I
not use a
rolled
bucket, I
nat
just stand
one,
under it.
so I'm gonna go with
It's like an orange,
Can
right?
you do that motion again for the screen?
I was gonna say, can someone boomerang that?
Actually, no. What,
It's
what
great because on the green screen we can add whatever we want.
yeah, just put your head back a bit.
Oh. It's a terrible joke, but I have to say it. I think you were just demonstrating a Mukaki.
Oh fuck, I think it's break time.
Yes.
It is break time. We're going to have a break. Before we go to break, though, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Oh man, Danny's read it. I was hoping you gave me too many clues.
What happened?
Thank you, Wilhelm. Wilhelm basically has said, please ask the cow how she likes to be milked.
Yeah, you need to ask for permission first.
Yeah, that's right.
Consent.
Consent is very important.
Consent.
No, the biggest thing I want is to make sure that you're milking the cow because you're the only one who can actually talk cow.
Do you want me to listen to her while she's milk?
No! We can all talk cow, but we just can't make sentences.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, we might be saying like.
Alright, are you ready?
You might be insulting their sisters.
Alright, we're going to go for a break. We'll be 10-15 minutes and then we'll be back with more of our silly shenanigans.
Yes.
Everyone in the stream says, "What the fuck, a bag man?"
We're back.
I had to put that one in.
Yeah, you did. That's good. I like it.
Hey, you fixed our green screen.
I did.
Hey!
Because we moved the camera around a little bit, so I was able to put the green screen back in to see how it
We
was.
still have halos, but it's still.
Can't get rid of the halos at the present moment in time.
And it-
We're just angelic people. You're all asthma now.
My asthma,
Just waiting for someone to make that joke. It's been a very long time.
So,
joke that
for anyone
belongs to
who's
your
actually
father.
on the channel at the moment and active and not just having it in the background, you see I've added the green screen back in for the other guys. Because we've moved the camera around a little bit, and that's why the two players on the outside are slightly on the edge.
But we're not blurry anymore.
But we're not blurry anymore.
Or
The
as
thing
blurry.
is,
As
if I
blurry,
disappear
yeah.
off this side, I end up on that one.
You do. You're in both. I can basically move this one closer or even zoom it closer just to get the proper angles for those two.
But then
Those
they
three.
all have to be willing to shuffle that way.
No, they're fine. There's so much room around those three, it's not
Yeah,
funny.
get closer. Dodgy.
Dodge.
I have to.
Dodgy Blanca.
What do I have to? I have to.
Anyone gets that
Yeah, you
reference,
have to, like,
I will
go
love you
away.
forever.
Anyway, we've got the green screen back on and they've got the green halos from it. Doesn't look too bad though.
Super green.
Super
No, I love
green.
my halo. Don't get rid of it.
There you go.
It makes me see.
Sure, there's
much
something
more
about halos.
than I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
You didn't have a
You
smooth
travel
bed,
on
Nick.
Why did you
after
sing
dealing
a
with the
song about
cows.
Master Chief? I don't know.
Wait, that.
You travel on after dealing with the cows.
I've gone after that. I've gone hobbled straight back into the caterpillar
Yep.
and basically de-armored, and I'm just lying in my bed.
Okay. Remember, if you are de-armored and you want to put your armor back on, it takes
I
a fair
know.
amount of time.
I know it takes time, but at the moment, I'm in pain. I don't care.
Yep. All right. So you travel on for the rest of the day, and it becomes evening. You all camp, put your fires up, cook your meals. While your meals are mostly being supplied by the main 4 caravans, you do still have to cook it yourself. So you hand it your rations and stuff like that. The night travels on. The guards, of the 20-odd guards, do most of the guard work if you want to. However, you can also jump in onto the night shift guards as well. They rotate in hour lots, so they have like two of them. At this particular part, you were told that there will be, as we go through the forest and further into the bandit territories, the guards will be more prominent. But for the time being, when you're in this relatively safety of the farmlands, it's only about 2 guards on duty. For a given hour, then they put another 2 on duty and rotate it that way.
Well, I need half as much sleep as everybody else, so I'll volunteer to help a bit with the guarding just to get the lay of the area and see if there's anything I can do.
No worries.
I don't want that.
You also jump in for some of the rotation as well, and so just chat to some of the guards here, and just generally keep an eye out on what's going on.
For this night, I
If
don't
a fight
volunteer
starts and
because
suddenly like
Sorry?
it's there next to
I'm
them, they shouldn't
resting.
freak out.
Yeah,
for this night.
I feel like he'd forget to do that.
This is not the first day. Sorry, we have skipped a couple of days. Probably like the 3rd day in this travel through the farmlands.
We're kind of falling into the rhythm.
Yes, you fall into a rhythm. So this is pretty much the norm for the last few days.
Before going off and being on that shift, I assume you would come out of the candy pillar for food.
Yes.
If I see you like painfully hobbling, like clutching your side, I'll be like, ooh,
I more just walk with a limp.
have a good
He nearly had that as well.
have a good berry.
I reach into my pouch and like pull out a big strip of jerky and I just
It'll make you feel better.
I don't care.
Fine. I'm away and just drop the spell Healing Spirit on him.
Just make that noise when it appears.
Yeah, it's like a giant ethereal, incorporeal creature that heals you. So yeah.
What
Yeah,
creature?
you walk off after you hobble off a little bit. and suddenly this weird ethereal creature just pops up in front of you as you just walk right through it. It heals you a little bit, but you still feel a bit stiff. This is not like a hit point heal too much, well that gets healed. But yeah, it's still stiff, still tender, and it's still a bit sore, and still, yeah, with a bit of limp.
I expected that, but still.
I regained my hit point.
The half-orc who has the 6 Clydesdales pats down his horses, takes them off the leash, for lack of a better word, I can't think of the reins.
Yoke.
Yoke, that's the word, sorry. Lets them mill about in the garden a little bit, let them eat some grass in the grass area along the side road and stuff like that. And yeah, at some point ties them up next to his barreled wines, ales I should say. Sets up himself with a bed underneath the cart itself and then falls asleep for the night. Same with the human who looks after all of the birds. He's also set himself up underneath. Cleans out the cages the best he can, gives them some more food for the evening. Any particular birds that need to have sort of a bit of fabric chucked over their cage to help them sleep, he does that. He talks to them a little bit. Yeah, he seems to treat them reasonably well. And then he heads to bed and falls asleep underneath his caravan as well.
I'm gonna head over to Emia, holding the map that I assume.
Yeah, you guys got a map, yeah.
Emia, I know you said something about a haunted village.
Yes, I was speaking to Kabir about it.
You think we could go through that? Because that sounds interesting.
I also think that sounds interesting, but I believe the rest of the caravan would not.
Perhaps we could persuade them otherwise.
We could try, but I believe it is slightly shorter, but the perception of danger is much higher. We could try to explain to them that having us there keeps them safer than not. But we would need to perhaps demonstrate what we can do.
Or just run through the key. Here's an option. Perhaps we should talk to the others though.
But the other thing is we should probably find out if there is some sort of curse or haunting there.
Sounds quite
So
interesting.
the last thing we want to do is get the entire caravan through there and then not be able to defeat what we are facing. We have had our fair share of luck so far. But
Find out if some of the other
we've only lost one
of the
person,
caravan
which is not
have
bad.
been through this route before. Know any more about the this haunted village?
Perhaps tomorrow we should speak to the half-orc, and then I was going to wait a couple of days until the to speaking to the lady. If they like any of the novels that I grew up with, they are much easier to deal with if they are bored and seeking quality company, which takes a couple of days of the journey.
The next day arrives. It's another day in these farmlands. Hasn't changed all that much. It's very nice country, rolling hills, flat lands as well, breaking up of trees, and small spattering of bushes here and there. Cows, sheep, everything you could possibly think of cattle-wise, as well as a few other sort of wheat farms. Come to one particular section, especially on this day in the morning, where there is just acres and acres of wheat farms in a flattened area. Before you can see off in the distance the rolling hills as they extend out to the southwest. To the northwest, in the direction you're heading, you can see now the edge of the tree line representing the very first of the forests that you're going to travel through. There is a road that travels up through them from what you can gather, and the forest itself is not thick in any particular instance. From what you can gather, from what you can see, and from the scouts who also travel ahead and come back and report, most of that forest is logged. So it's quite thin and not overly dense per se. You travel more for this day, more farmlands. The tree lines of that forest come closer and closer. And you end the day, again, being the fourth day, have your meals, have your sleep.
So we're well into the forest now.
You're about to get into the forest and then about to.
Okay. Then I'm gonna change a spell the morning we enter the forest.
Also, I thought there was a thing that you could do which could help us greatly. Do you think at night, because you seem not to sleep as much as the rest of us, so you have a few more hours to use.
Yeah.
Could you change into a wolf or any animal that is good with smell, with scent, and do a couple of laps around our campsite at distances to see if there is signs of humans or horses nearby, if we are being observed as we travel through. If there was to be a bandit attack, surely they would have someone watching where we are.
Okay.
It is fairly common in the deserts. There are many bandits. Some of them are my cousins, but yeah, that's only the bad side of the cousins, not the good side of the cousins.
There's a good side.
The ones that don't rob him.
Ah, right.
The wealthy side.
Yeah, they rob their money a different way.
Okay. So,
They're land pirates.
I expect I've taken the time to be like decently familiar with like what the guards who are with us look like.
Yes.
And the horses and all that. So I'm not just gonna go blundering off into the woods and be all like baddies, but no, it's our own guards.
Yeah, you recognise most of the guards now.
Well, that evening I'll say, okay, I'll do that then. Kind of like not really sure that how well it's gonna go. It's just like as they're all like snuggling down to sleep, I will very obviously in front of as many people as I can, wild shape into a wolf, and then just go on a jog.
Okay. Are you marking yourself in a particular way as that wolf?
White ears.
I mean, one white ear.
One white ear? Alright, so you transfer into wolf who has one white ear, and it's like, we can recognise what's going on. So they sort of get an understanding of who you are if they see you with a bit of a look.
Yes.
Well, the good thing is they can't kill you, because even if they do shoot you, we'll just change you back to human.
Exactly.
Oh, back to not quite human.
Yes.
Elf.
Elf.
Angry elf instead of calm wolf.
So yes.
So you head off into the forest. Do you during the night?
Like the first half of the night.
First half of the night.
So like the second half, I'll come back and rest.
Okay, so you head off into the forest for a bit, and you disappear for a bit, heading off to the forest and travelling up a path and giving a bit of a feel. So the first thing you're trying to detect if there's any additional people along this route, either earlier or in the area.
You're like
Essentially, if this is our camp, do sort of like a couple of loops to see if there's anyone watching us or if there's anyone strange sense
us
or whatever in the area.
a sweep of the perimeter.
If there's another camp there, that'd be good to know.
Alright, well,
This is why we call her table.
yeah. I don't know what you're doing now, Alice.
Same as before.
Okay.
just
So
take a
do
break.
a perception check first.
Okay. And
Advantage if it's scent-based.
Yeah, we'll do the set-based version.
like smell around and stuff too. That's Jack.
But it's
I got a 26.
so 19 or 9. I guess I know which one you're using.
You head off into the forest and have a bit of a sniff around in your wolf form. You smell all the typical telltale signs of a forest. So you smell the pine, you smell the wet morning dew as it's starting to creep into that particular time of the night. You smell a lot of the rodents and the animals in the area who are nocturnal coming out, doing their thing. All the typical smells of the forest. You don't smell anything else beyond that.
I feel very comfortable
Yes.
like this.
Yes.
Because I'm in the woods.
You know this very well. This is very peaceful.
Oh god, he's gonna come back naked.
No.
Naked
Well,
and carefree.
technically, yes. And then when you change back into elf form, you'll be clothed again.
Yeah.
Because I assume as a wolf you're not wearing clothes. That would be distinctive though.
Yeah, but
If we saw a wolf coming back into camp with a bowler hat, that'd be adorable, weird, and noticeable.
No, get all like warped and misshapen.
Maybe we can change the music to being in the forest.
So, once I've done like a cursory lap or two, and I'm sure that there isn't anything dangerous, I'm just gonna have some fun. I'm gonna find like I'm gonna find a hill and do some.
Are you gonna find like a stream and try to bite the water out of it?
Yeah, I'll just like do the fun parts of being an animal once I know my job's done.
Roll me another perception check, which is not scent based.
Okay. That's still 10.
Alright, you managed to find yourself a hill, an outcropping of some particular type that you think this is a good position to do my howling. And you head up.
The tombstones.
And you don't notice the tombstone. And you hop up on and you do your howl.
Robert of Poland.
I cast Final.
You hear in the distance.
It's that bull again.
He's come back for seconds.
It's off in the distance, but you can definitely hear it, and yeah, you're all howling together in a sort of.
I'm curious, what are you saying? Hello!
It's just like, hey, I'm over here!
Shut up, Greg!
I mean, the fools howls like a call and response if you far apart.
Oh, he's just yelling out, I am a Nigerian prince!
Hello!
Send me your money.
No, it's,
Would
hey!
you like a potion to increase your size?
Hey! Are you guys wolves? Yeah, we're totally wolves! Oh my god, so am I!
Can you tell me?
Yeah. I mean,
That's a good point.
what?
We've actually had this discussion before, Romney. That's the funny thing. When you transform into a wolf, do you wear the pants? How do you wear your pants?
I don't wear any pants! Pants morph into me.
No, he wears his pants on the inside.
They're filthy. But
Pretty
I'm
much.
still wearing them.
We've actually had that discussion before, though. That's the funny thing. Well, the camera's being really weird at the moment.
Does it sound like the wolves are coming closer? As like the howling back and forth?
Yeah.
Ah. Oops.
Guess which party member dies next? Guess which party member dies next?
Not him.
Yeah, not him.
They're not going to
Unless
attack
there's
me.
a lot of wolves.
I'm a friendly wolf.
Oh,
I
but you're a wolf on their turf.
Is it their turf? I mean,
You don't know.
Also, are you a male wolf?
I can tell by smelling. Can I smell wolf scent markers about the place?
Yes.
Ah.
No, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
I'm going back to camp. I'll just like, I'll turn up. How long was I in that form?
You probably turn back into human form before you get back to the camp.
Okay. So like, entering past the guard perimeter at a
Yep.
jog, I'll like get close to Amir's hammock and be like,
Oh, yes. Is there an attack?
No, it's fine. I just wanted to tell you that there's wolves out there.
Okay. Any other threats?
I mean, the wolves might be coming this way.
Have you warned the guards?
No.
Okay. They might need to know that any wolf that turns up is not you, and that they are okay to defend themselves.
I ran out of the wolf as I was coming back. Okay, I'll go and tell them. Yeah. We're going to be entering their territory, that's all.
If there are any wolves that attack, is there a way to scare them off?
scatter them. They work well in groups.
Are they afraid of fire? Are they afraid of loud noises?
Can I make a nature check to see if I know what this kind of wolf? 15. I think. Yeah, 15.
The sheer amount of people that are in this particular caravan, the wolves are not going to attack you.
Okay, that's fair.
Unless you walk out into the forest alone to take a fish, then they
Yeah,
might.
exactly. Yeah. It's just a basic case of don't dawdle behind and don't go off alone.
Her lady.
I will I'll leave you to your long rest and inform the guards on duty of this.
Yeah, we spread the word around that there's wolves out there, which they're not overly surprised at.
Fair enough. I've done my
As
job.
long as it's just wolves, I'm happy.
It just sounds like wolves, and and it smells like we're in their territory.
Can you let me know when we're about to reach the fork that goes over to the haunted village?
The fork is still a fair way off.
No, but let me know.
Yeah, I assume that was weeks.
Yeah, but it's at least another week. We're still going to get through the forest, and then we're going to get into the village, stay in the village for a bit. Then the fork is after that.
Go in the village. Did you want motor hobo?
Did you hear on the table talk?
Camera.
I didn't.
Tim, the table talk.
It's table talk, yeah.
Tim's table talk.
Team table talk.
Hey, Romney's
Well,
back.
yes, Romney is back.
Nice. Okay.
I
I
wasn't
think
here
he's
that
actually
so-
been there all day. I think he's just started talking.
No,
Yeah.
he wasn't here earlier.
No, it's not.
Maybe he was just stalking.
Maybe he was.
I'll trance after
No,
that
no,
and join the rest of the party in rest.
So you rest away and you have your evening, and then you basically wake up in the morning and have your breakfast and all that type of jazz.
So guys, like as I eat a single good berry of the day that I need, there's wolves about. So be careful.
Do I hit them?
No.
This milk is really nice.
Didn't you buy the bull? Didn't you buy the bull?
No.
I like the very art for that milk. It should be very nice.
Bessie is safe. Bessie has not been accosted by wolves or anything like that. Bessie is sitting there, munching on grass.
So you milked her.
The midsummer moitus?
The midsummer moitus.
So you milked Bessie.
I think there was someone else who was better skilled than me.
Okay.
I have never milked a cow before in my life.
Emia?
Was
You
I
just
within
pull on the
earshot?
teeth, don't you?
Sorry?
Just pull on the
Was I within
little
earshot?
bit,
I
right?
don't know. Were you?
If it's, I mean, I think since I was out late, I may have been trancing still.
Jeez, he's
So
better throw than you.
I think I would have heard it that time.
Okay.
I'm so compensating for the camera.
I just got to have a freeze frame of it, like just passing and blocking the entire
Yeah.
space. With just brown bags.
Alright, so you guys head off. The trap caravan starts up again after breakfast. All of the troops start walking again. Those on horseback jump onto the horseback. The two scouts head off before everyone else, probably 10 minutes, and off into the forest.
Am I feeling better?
You're feeling better, yes.
Okay. I don my armor again. Next time the cat's getting punched.
Wow.
Wouldn't tips be better?
You head off. It takes about an hour before you actually reach the edge of the forest, and you head in. And you are now cooler because the sun's no longer blaring on you. It's more cut up by the trees. You still see
I was enjoying this.
the sunlight still pops through. You get like streams of light, but it's broken up by the trees
How
themselves.
sunburned am I? I'm a
Everyone's reasonably sunburned. Yeah.
ninja. I'm a ninja.
That's
So I'm
fine.
not
I was gonna say,
sunburned.
excuse me, I spent my entire time in the bloody card. I'm fine.
Apart from the F.
I don't get sunburned because
You're a dragon.
so I'm just like
Well, we don't count you brown people.
Says the brown
You are
person.
bronze, aren't you?
yes.
You
I am
also
as
look quite
pale
brown.
as they
Yeah.
come.
As I said, like the ethnic doesn't get sunburned.
We've been doing this. I assume we're in a routine at this
Yes,
point.
you are in a bit of a routine.
Do we stop for any breaks?
You do stop for breaks, yes.
Okay. At the first break, I'll let you know.
Okay. Probably about an hour later, they have a quick break.
Okay. At that point, I'm gonna walk a bit away from the place where everybody's parked, and I will cast Speak with Plants.
All right.
For the
You
first
speak
time.
with the plants.
I implant in 30 feet of me with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with me and follow my simple commands. I can ask them about events in the past day, gain information about stuff, and just.
What language do they speak in?
Plant.
I expect it's.
Do they
It's
speak, or is
probably
it a magic
psychic.
thing?
I was just saying, it's probably a magic link, like message.
Giving them the ability to communicate with me.
Okay.
So I mean, I can hear the plants.
Not them, the ability to communicate.
Yeah. They generally, plants can't generally communicate, yes.
Yes.
It's more like message where it's a psychic link.
I thought it'd be hilarious if it was Treebeard in a really slow Scottish accent.
They can move a bit. They can't like stand up and walk around, but
Yeah.
they can flex and move. And
They can
it's lots of
sway emotively?
it's lots of tall, narrow trees. Yeah. I'll say to the trees.
French fries.
Hello. Where am I?
No, yeah.
What do you call
No,
this?
no, no.
What
It's,
do you
it's
call
purposely
this
this pause,
Yeah,
which you're ruining it. Forest.
What is the name of this forest?
Name?
Name. It must have a name.
Name?
Something you use to tell yourself apart from others.
Forest.
Okay. It's nice to meet you, Forrest. How are you? What's wrong with me talking to the flats?
How?
We've all had another joke going on, and it's yeah.
Good. I'll be oblivious as usual.
Yes.
Good.
I notice it's a bit sparse. Has this area been farmed?
The old ones that moved on.
So you're relatively young.
Yes.
How do you feel about this?
Good.
You're happy
He's
being
yodeling at trees.
You're happy to be farmed by humans?
Farmed?
I heard that they grow you just to cut you down.
Sacrifice.
I see.
He's asking for a sacrifice, Rowan. You better kill something for it.
No.
Old ones. Sacrifice.
What kind of trees are they? Like pine?
Yeah.
Okay. I pick up a pine cone. I expect it's nearby. To dig a hole,
Yep.
plop it in, cover it over, and just use a bit of druidcraft to encourage it along.
Yep. Yep. A little bit of a plant starts popping out of the ground.
I say to the trees I was talking to, yeah. I've made you a new friend. Sapling.
Young.
Yes.
I think that's the closest you can get to making a tree pregnant.
Everybody.
Did you ask?
I'm sure you're not a bard.
Old.
Is there anything important about this area that you think I should know about?
Where's my dice?
Oh no.
Under your roots.
Yes.
What would that be?
Night time.
I know about the wolves. Is there more?
time.
What happens at night?
Pretty.
Okay, dark lights.
Horror Borealis in our camp.
This time of year? At this latitude? In the forest?
Yes.
Set it directly on your caterpillar?
Steamed hams. Where's Boris? Sorry.
Anyway,
My bad. I won't interrupt you again.
what kind of
Sure. It's a promise or a threat.
plants, animals,
Yes.
plants?
Yes.
What makes it pretty?
Pretty.
Would I like it?
Yes.
Would my friends like it?
Yes.
What's it called?
Forest.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time, Forrest.
Yes.
Good day. I'll walk over.
Now I'm paranoid that the forest is going to just straight up murder us. And
Jesus Christ, man. Seriously.
Well,
It's a
this-
goddamn forest.
Worst case scenario, we make up new characters for Ravnica.
Oh God.
Oh, you're going to be running it, so it's fine.
Oh boy. That's a fun plan. Anyway, I'll come back to everybody and say, guys, good news. The forest is pretty at night. The tree told me so.
Have you been drinking?
What
yet,
have you
or-
been smoking? And I want some.
The strange thing is, for other people, we would assume that's for you, not so much.
I spoke to the
Also,
trees.
potentially, can't you eat something and smoke it at the same time?
Never actually tried.
You start with an edible and end with a...
Well, it was a
perhaps
cookie.
we can talk to the trees later and I can make some notes.
I don't think you can talk to the trees.
How did the
Only
trees
you could
feedback?
relay the information to me.
Okay, well, they're pretty slow, which is expected from trees. All I got was that something happens at night that's pretty, and I would like it. The tree couldn't say with confidence whether or not you would like it.
I will stay up to find out.
Okay. I'm glad we had this talk. That's me.
What would a tree find pretty? Maybe some
The moon?
nice birch with a good piece of ash.
So bad.
I've been sitting
So
on that one for a while now.
so
the whole back
bad.
end of that conversation.
So bad.
Damn it. You are the worst.
I'm for real.
It's a pine forest.
Yeah, what do you think fair is?
Alright.
I had the
You travel on in through the forest. This caravan keeps continuing on. A little bit slower pace. A couple of times that you've had to sort of backtrack and go forward again to sort of get yourself through some of the lower branches that are blocking the tops of the caravans. But generally, other than that, it's pretty harmless going through the area. You see a lot of interesting little sights as you're going through a forest. Lots of weird animals you can hear. Yeah.
How dry is the forest?
It's reasonably dry.
Okay.
It's still tail end of summer, so a lot of it's dry. Yeah.
While we're going along, I'm going to
If the forest
approach
is that dry, be careful with any fire.
the Azuma. What's your
Fire
name?
attack what?
Tectus, Imperius. I'm going to approach Imperius and say, here, and flip my pistol round. Show him how to actually load it.
Yep.
Oh yes, I watched you before. Yes, makes a lot more sense now.
Point, pull the trigger.
It's got a very simple point and click interface.
And I pass it over to him. And then immediately, like, move his hand away because he's aiming it at me.
I mean, I aim it like this.
Interface.
And then I'm going to ask him, can I have my bow?
Yes, of course.
Sweet.
Would you like some of your daggers back?
Daggers?
Yes.
I have more.
Pretty so I still think.
I'm just like feeling. I've
Oh,
got
yeah.
5 on me. How
The
many
ones in
have
my
you
boots.
got?
I believe I had 2 of yours.
I'll take them. Take the daggers and.
It took a while for you to get your stuff back.
I'm giving him back the pistol.
He's slowly getting the urge to kill rising again. He needs his toys. It's like a serial killer. You try to suppress the urge, but now it's back, and it's going to be increasing
I'm going to
frequencies.
spend most of the rest of the trip
There's pistol stats.
disassembling and reassembling the pistol to work out its mechanics.
Can I have a razor?
Do a tinkering roll for
And who makes the
No quick stabby stab make Rayleigh something.
That is a 21.
Your time is monkeying around.
You're able to put it back together. And it's got 18 acid rounds left.
The meticulous kind of one that like lines up every single screw and every single bolt with a little diagram drawn on it where it goes to and everything.
Technical diagrams.
Yeah, the green screen wasn't working because the camera's at a slight angle, so as it was getting towards Alice, the green would shift colours because it's getting further away, also because of the light coming from outside. Alright, the caravan travels on a bit more for the day. The forest is still continuing on. It's getting a little thicker as you're going forward. You notice that as heading towards more to the centre of the forest itself, that the thinning of the trees from woodworkers and stuff like that has lessened, and it's starting to get a bit thicker. There is a path going through here, however, so it's not terrible for the purposes of the caravans. The evening pops by, the caravans stop, and you set up for your evening meals and cook away again.
Do we want to have round 2 of Race to the Top of the Mast?
I think
This is the Mast Forest.
I think I'll win this one.
I smile and
This is actually not the Mast Forest. The Mast Forest is in a different part, just sort of further away. This is a different forest that I do have a name for that I've completely forgotten.
The Forest of Quack.
Yes. No quackeries here.
Maybe it's the Boreal Forest.
Sorry?
Boreal Forest?
How tall is it?
I've given it a name, I can't remember what it is.
How tall is it?
I have no idea.
60 feet.
No spider climb.
Who wants in on the competition?
No magic.
Oh, never mind that.
Not with my dexterity.
Very well, I shall join.
Rules are no magic or flight. And Rayleigh just keeps going like this, adapting the rules until it's level footing.
No magic, no flight, no
Sorry.
potions.
Yeah,
No magic?
no potions.
No flight.
No flight.
I have potions.
No mind
Flying
control,
shit.
no potions, no weaponry, rope, no rope. Basically just listing it off. Pretty much anything. In fact, naked. Naked and no magic.
Do you agree to these terms?
Okay, you can wear clothes, but not if you're going to use them to cheat.
Because I've got a whole lot of arsenal of cheat right now. Sure.
No flying. What else has he got?
No magic
no
covers a lot.
toys.
Yeah, no magic covers a lot.
Yeah, but subtle spell. It's amazing what you can get away with when no one knows you're doing it.
Except if we, Okay.
Except if I catch you.
Subtle spell, you can't catch me.
Yeah, but you'll see the effects.
Yeah.
You'll see the effect depending on what the effect is.
Yeah.
So, are you ready?
Fuck it. Alright, fine.
Perhaps you could start the race. Make some sort of noise or something to
I
signify
mean, no
the
one's
start.
going to join in.
Oh yes, very well, join in.
I'll start the race. I
Everyone
sit
join
down
in.
the bottom
Mm-hmm.
with my shield lying on the ground. And I grab my longsword and I just go bang.
Subtle spell, phantasmal force, his shoes are tied together.
Do I notice?
You have to roll
Yeah,
a
roll-
intelligence saving throw against my spell save DC.
So I think my shoes are tied together?
If you fail this save. You failed the save.
Right, I go to untie them.
Yeah, you do.
As
You
far as, you're
basically delay.
concerned, as far as you're concerned, they are tied. You can't untie them. Your mind is telling you that oh, I must be doing this wrong. I can't untie them for a minute.
Right. Okay, at that point, I'm not stupid.
Yes, you are. The mind is constantly
Yeah,
making up
it's
reasons
actually a
for it.
magical effect that's doing it to you. You
Yeah.
can't actually think logically about
You
it.
don't know why it's
Alright, at that
Until
point...
someone tells you that, dude, your shoes aren't tied,
But
you're
even-
gonna
I'm
believe
So
pretty
it.
for
sure
an
even
entire
then you
minute-
still
No,
believe-
then he can start making saves against it to negate
Right,
the effect.
I rip off my boots.
Still delayed you enough.
Yeah, you're delayed for the very first round.
And now we run and climb.
Climb rolls.
Yep, are you climbing?
Yeah.
Oh, you're joining.
Athletics.
I take a couple steps back and take a sip of the 9 Deserts liqueur.
I said no potions.
I didn't say I was competing.
Oh.
Can't cheat, won't play.
Sounds about right.
Can I have a rage climb?
Yeah,
Try.
but you have to spend a rage per round because you're not taking damage or being
True.
attacked. But you'll get advantage on your athletics checks.
She can rage for the first one.
Well, it's acrobatics, isn't it?
Athletics.
or-
Athletics.
Athletics for me.
Oh,
You're, you're physically climbing up a tree.
Yeah, it's not going to go well for me.
It's not like you did.
You can acrobatics up because I guess in a way you could like park all the branches kind of thing.
No. If you're going across trying to park her, yes, you would do acrobatics.
This
Because
is
you're physically
climbing
trying to
straight.
lift yourself up a tree.
Like if you're trying to flip up a branch,
Oh, well,
maybe.
in that case, I'm screwed.
I've got a -2. I'm more screwed
Why did you even agree to do it?
because I'm going to cheat my way up.
Anyway,
Alright.
Yes, it was Phantasmal Killer I
I'm
was
gonna
thinking of,
advantage
not
on the first
Phantasmal
one, so
Force.
I'll rage
Yep.
for the first
Yep.
No, I don't have that one. Yeah.
one. 17 plus 7, so
Yeah.
24.
As the dwarf basically starts climbing the trees.
No,
It's gonna climb
you're
as well.
just raging. You should just pull all the branches towards it.
Yeah. The tree suddenly buckles, and you just basically get onto the next one, and it goes back up again.
I'm
Simon,
gonna,
no.
I'm gonna hold my action
Yep.
to use my ring of jumping when after they have all started climbing because he is distracted trying to do his shoes, so he's not going to see it. And no one else will see it because they're already climbing.
You realise I
From
gave you that ring and
the
I know
audience.
you have it.
I'm
Yeah.
well aware of that, but you're not going to see me use it.
You can't subtle cast a
Amber is
magic
honourable.
item.
I'm not
She is
sarcastic.
doing
No,
this
he's
without
just
you.
activating.
He's activating it. You don't.
Which is
you're
where
busy. You don't know. So
The
the only one
crowd will get
So
a
I'd have to
chance
take another
spot it.
perception check to see it.
you're too busy in your little one
Your
shoelaces
shoes.
to tie.
Oh, okay. So
I told you I'm going to cheat. I've been following
Well, he
your
does
actions.
get to
which-
do that on a bonus action. So if he's not using the bonus action for anything else, he might be able to.
Yeah, actually, I've got investigation check as a bonus action.
Yeah, alright. I'll let you do it for that particular reason.
I rolled a 16 on perception. I'm going to see him jump startlingly high.
Yes. Roll perception for those who are watching.
Oh, well,
That's a
anyone
resistance.
who's climbing, I'm waiting for them so that
11.
they're in the process of climbing.
Yeah, she's already climbed.
That's
I
why.
guess-
That's why I held action for them to start climbing.
24.
She's the only one climbing.
That's why I haven't done it yet. I've held the action
Yeah,
until
cool.
after they've started climbing.
That's what I'm trying to take. She's already done it.
Yeah.
Who else is climbing?
She's
No,
the only
no,
one.
you're the
It's
only
you
one.
two
Okay.
and
After
her.
Oh, okay, well, then I jump.
Yeah.
what? Okay.
So acrobatics for that one, for a jump.
The activation for singing Van Halen.
I mean, I could play Van Halen on the hurdy gurdy.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
okay.
The what was that hip hop one as well?
Oh yeah. Jump.
Alright, so I'm gonna
Has a pain.
jump on up.
Roll away. What roll?
I haven't rolled it. That is it acrobatics to jump? Or athletics?
Athletics.
Athletics, it is a 12 then. I have a -2.
But whatever margin you get is doubled or tripled.
Yeah.
What'd you get? You got 24. So you're basically climbing up. You've gotten up a couple of the branches on this particular tree already. You've done some really fantastic climbing. Then you see Imperius jump right off.
Are we climbing the same
Oh,
one
thank
tree,
you.
or was
Yes,
it 3
same.
trees?
No, same tree.
It appears that Imperius is cheating. Do I teach him a lesson?
So at that point, I would have
No,
definitely.
you're still busy with
Oh,
yours.
really?
Yes.
For a whole
Because I don't want the
round at
don't-
least.
Relax.
I don't want him to get a big head about
Tim,
it.
No.
once they
You interfere with him when
Done
he's
what
halfway
I-
up the tree.
around,
So when he lands, you'll learn a good lesson.
can I
True.
can I see a branch that's roughly 30 feet off the ground?
Can you see a branch that's roughly 30 feet off the ground? No.
What's the highest branch I can see?
20 and 40.
Okay, I'll on the 20-foot high branch, I'm going to invoke my bear totem. So in a 30-foot radius sphere, all my friends get advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
There you go.
How far is that? 20 foot.
So
It's going to basically cover the whole tree.
if you climb higher than 50 feet, you leave the aura, but aside from that, if you're climbing, you're in the aura.
Cool.
Alright, cool. There is now a bear there ready for people to get advantage on jump checks, basically.
I was sorely tempted to, like, Captain America this, and once they started climbing, I was just going to walk over with my adamantium sword and just cleave the tree down, and then just walk to the end of it and be like, I win. But like, no, that'd be mean.
Someone would probably die from that height too.
It's worth it.
Alright.
Bessie, no!
So you've done your jump. You specifically stated that you're waiting for the purpose of her to jump, climb up first so you can do your jump,
Yes.
right? Alright, so you do another save.
He only does the save if he has been aware that this is false.
No, sorry, 10 turns.
Well, he's taking his shoes off, and it still shows that his shoes are tied together.
Oh yeah, you've tried to take his shoes. No, but he would still believe it. He still
He
believes
would
he's
So
doing
I
it
still
wrong.
believe the shoes are tied together, but
Even
I've
though
taken
they're
them
not-
off.
they're not
so
on his feet.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
you've
not on
taken
my
them off, but
feet.
it's fine.
So
Yeah.
you
So
can
I don't
climb down
care.
without your shoes, yes.
It's because of the magical effect of it. Like, it might be even the case of your shoes are still on. You take them off, they're back on.
No, I only
It's
specifically
not.
stated that his shoes were on.
Oh,
I
okay.
had to be more specific with it to try and.
Fair enough, fair enough.
You
Okay,
just-
no, you take your shoes off. That's not a problem.
But they are still tight.
Yeah,
Okay,
still fine, yeah.
Still
I rolled an 18 anyway.
I'm surprised you
so-
didn't just toss them at me.
Yeah, I still do that.
No, because that would be cheating. I specifically said
shuriken.
no using your
Shuriken.
clothing to cheat. So,
Okay, that's bad.
I've
Right, now,
learned it from him.
Let's roll a set of initiatives for you three people who would have been.
No. If they were Converse, they'd be nunchucks.
Wow. Oh, so I'm lost.
I'm gonna
14.
cast as soon as I get disintegrate, I'm using it on him. Oh wait, no, D10 isn't it?
D20.
Oh no, D20. In that case, it is a 13.
well, 18 actually, because
18.
I didn't count
sorry,
my
16.
initiative
Yeah,
bonus.
16.
18, 16,
3.
easy. So you get to go first. You see them both up on the tree, 20 odd feet up in the air.
I know Imperius can't do that quick, so I'm actually just going to sit down and just wait.
Oh come on!
I've forfeited, basically. I've just
You have
gone, I know
advantage
you're
to climb,
cheating.
though.
That wasn't the rules.
Yeah.
And the moment you get to the ground, I'm telling you, you're disqualified anyway. Amber wins by default.
Amber doesn't know that.
Huh?
Amber doesn't know that.
I know. So at this point, I'm just watching for the fun of it. Amir, liquor, and I just put a hand.
You've
on.
got your own.
Oh, you want alcohol? Okay.
Yeah.
You've got your own.
I'll fetch the cow.
Look.
Really? You
might
have
be
your own.
cheating, but Amber's ripped and has advantage on strength checks. I think she has a shot.
Yeah, no, I think she's got a shot
Oh, yeah,
too.
she
But,
definitely
but I
does.
would rather.
Gets halfway up and throwing something at him.
Alright. Roll your athletics check.
I'm not going to use my athletics check. I am going to cast Disguise Self on myself, so that I look exactly as I am.
Oh, but you're going to sprout your wings.
Yes.
Disguise self is not that good.
It will hide my look, but if anyone touches me or feels it, they will immediately
Oh,
see.
so you're just jerking going.
I am making a call because disguise self probably doesn't even have written in its terminology about this particular type of thing. Even if you do that, you still will have wings sprout. They will be just
You'll
different-
just look like
they'll
a
just like
different
different wings or something like that.
Also, would you sprout the wings and then cast the spell? Or cast the spell and then sprout the wings?
Yeah, fair enough. No, in that case, I'm just going to climb on it.
With advantage.
And I was going to say, am I in the range? It is a good thing that I got advantage. Yeah, so that's a 16.
16? Alright, yours?
With advantage.
20?
20 total.
20 total? Alright, you
Is
managed
that
to
with
pull ahead.
advantage?
Huh?
Was
yeah.
that
My other one was like a 3.
Ooh, subscriber.
Can I feed me?
Rose up,
I was
guys.
going to say, is that a
Someone is
Tamagotchi?
now
That is
hosting
never
us.
got
Thank you.
Thank you.
I gotta do a deal with my kid's Tamagotchi because he left it here.
Or you could kill the
Rise up,
Tamagotchi and teach your child a lesson.
I don't know if we do D&D too much, it's more of them doing stupid shenanigans and maybe a few dice rolls in between.
I want to climb a tree!
Alright, so you've decided to sit down and not be part of this, so now you.
Oh, okay. Back to climbing again. It's over 17. It's either a 17 or a 1, so.
Still advantage?
Yep.
17 plus 7.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, she's
Plus
gonna.
four.
She's way beating
You're basically just like.
Must win. Must win.
You look back for a brief moment, like see him like going.
I was like, ha ha! Clap, clap, clap,
Alright.
clap, clap, clap.
Because you're highest at the moment, can you give me a perception roll?
Also, disguise skirt itself
No.
will not work for.
8.
Alright, do your next athletics roll.
Is it night at the moment?
Yes, we sat down and started to have the meal, evening meal. It's
Okay.
dark.
Do my boots still look tied?
Yes.
Yeah, it hasn't been 10 rounds yet.
Oh yes, the bear totem also lasts for that long.
Roll.
Oh, no.
What are you looking at?
Cheese. Working out. No. I have a cheese, but the cheese weren't for beating her, it was just for beating him, and he's sat out, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Emma could have cheated. She has a potion of climbing.
That is a 10.
10 overall? Okay, you get a few extra feet up there, but you're struggling a bit.
Yeah.
But do roll a perception roll for me.
You see a bunch of wolves attacking.
That is not much better. That is a 13.
Alright. Next roll.
Still advantage?
Yep. This will be the last one with advantage.
Bad. 7 plus 7, 14.
Alright.
14.
Sorry, I'm doing it kind of like really quickly, like lots of feet and stuff like that.
We're not going to spend an hour and a half or 2 hours like we did last time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially considering there's no cheating and become boring.
It's only fun when everyone cheats.
That's
It's only
right.
fun when more than 2 people participate.
Really?
Amir.
I was bored and wanted entertainment.
I'm helping.
So you're entertaining me.
All right, roll perception roll for me.
But
What's
I'm no
the
longer
last
the
one?
same person.
3 this time.
Yeah, but we don't know that yet.
Which is why I sat back down.
9.
Jesus. To climb?
Oh, no, that was the climb.
Yeah, it was a climb roll. I know it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
You managed to
I
get
have
a
a
few.
-2.
I know you managed to get a few extra
Good.
feet.
I have a plus 7.
Now roll a perception roll again. Yes,
That's a 14.
it's a 14. Still
Again?
not enough.
Oh, you're 13.
You're racing here. You're almost at the top.
Once I get to the top, I can look at it. But
Okay.
ooh. She's not
Uh,
focusing on looking at the moment. Advantage or no advantage?
No advantage now. You're out of the area.
15.
15. You're still cruising up.
I was going to
going,
say, she's still destroying me.
Destroying you.
You're just punching holes into the tree for grip.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
Wonder Woman style. You know how she
Yeah.
just like kush,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
kush, kush with her fingers? Yeah.
All right.
No, I don't.
Roll perception roll.
I've never seen it.
Well,
Alice,
you should.
Alice, roll perception roll.
Better this time. 18.
18.
Nice.
You get up into, you put your foot on one of the top branches. It's one of the smaller, thinner branches because it's starting to get to the top of this particular pine tree. And you notice out across, probably, I don't know, 80 to 100 feet somewhere, just in front of you to the left ever so slightly, is bright light within the forest.
Ooh.
It's white, bright light in the forest.
She's gonna like stop me. What?
You basically see from the distance that you are at,
Is it above the tree line or below?
it's in the tree line.
In the tree.
Below, so below here.
Yeah, so below the canopy.
Below the canopy, yes. So yeah, you're seeing light coming from within the tree somewhere. It is being hidden, per se, by all of the trees, so you can't see directly what the light is, but you definitely know this is bright white. Like, imagine like a whole heap of LED light. That kind of brightness is coming from the forest where you can see it.
Even with her distracted, it's going to take me like 7 turns to catch
Yeah,
up.
pretty much, pretty much.
Unless I roll
I'm going
like,
to cast Spider Climb,
Yep.
catch up to him.
I've got 12.
Let's go. How's it going?
Hello.
It's just you walking up.
Roll a perception roll for me.
That is a 15.
15.
Right,
Oh, sorry, 16.
Because you're not
Really?
quite
You should see
high
the view
enough
from up
where
here.
Amber is a lot higher than you,
You
so
should
just
see the
getting
view
the
from up
advantage
here.
of the height to
Yeah.
actually see it. So,
View.
bubble roll.
Alright.
Depending on
Get
what
out my short bow, because
Is it a
I know
climb
they're
roll?
cheated
Yes.
anyway. Tie the rope.
Modified
Oh, I'm out of rope.
Modified 20,
I don't have
dirty
a
20.
rope.
Yeah.
Alright,
I'm not gonna
you
climb
get to the
then.
top of the trees. Well, it's the top as far as you can consider being the top of the tree.
Winner!
Can I get a shout down?
Veal dinner?
We don't feel it.
Completely forgotten that I was racing people to get to the top. I'm gonna shout to them, hey, there's a funny light out in the distance in that direction.
And I immediately drop into stealth. 18.
Yeah.
I'll climb quicker.
Yeah, you climb quicker. As
I'm
much as you climb.
going to spread my wings down and fly up.
You spread your wings and fly up. She points you roughly in the direction, and it's not too hard to see now.
Which way's the light, Amber?
That way!
Can I tell direction from just randomly pointing?
Nah, you can't see. She's like way up in the trees.
I will use my wings to kind of point in the direction.
Yeah, you kind of can do that. Yeah, you sort of like look at the angelic form with his wings and whatnot. He's sort of looking in a particular direction and sort of hovering and pointing the
Because I was
wings in
going
a
to say
particular
they
direction.
glow a bit, so yeah, you'll see them.
I make a run for it, towards the light.
I'm going to start heading that way too. The moment I
As
see
I'm
him running, I'm
climbing up,
going to
can I
track
sort of
you.
see which direction?
Yes.
Prestidigitation for like a line of sparkly things on the ground.
Yep.
Which
All right.
point towards
Yeah.
that
So
thing?
Is it a
a
landing
whole heap
strip?
of glow sticks suddenly appear on the ground.
Here in the distance.
Essentially.
We are in Beliska.
No. I
Well,
hearing
that's
that
not
there's
an insult, that's
weird
fine.
lights in the forest, I basically pick up my shield and draw my sword.
I'm going to fly on over.
You fly on over. Probably because you're flying, you probably get the best advantage to get there first.
So they've got to climb back
I'm
down
probably
the
going to
tree.
wait for them to climb back down
so
the
you're ready for the rest of them to climb down, but you're going to move forward though.
I'm going to move forward and you sprinted.
I'm like,
You're
oh my
sprinting.
god. The,
Okay.
the trees told me about this, I gotta see it.
So I'm sticking back a little bit because I'm expecting you to get into trouble, which is why I'm following. So I'm still stealth.
How tall
Yeah.
is the tree?
The tree you're on, 60 feet.
I probably shouldn't drop from that height.
No.
No.
You should not.
Especially not in rage.
Well, no. If
No,
you're-
not in rage, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, if you're angry why you fell, you'd survive.
If you fall,
Yes,
Amber?
yes you would.
Amber, if you
I
fall
mean-
20 meters, you're going to end up a foot shorter at least.
I mean, I didn't mention this at the time because it wasn't relevant, but you technically have 11 temporary hit points right now.
Don't think it's gonna help that much. Oops, sorry.
I mean, in case this is combat, I'm going to track that actually and say yes, I have
No.
11 temporary hit points.
You get close enough first. You're probably about 40
I
feet
mean,
away, and
I'm
you
doing
start
that.
seeing more details about the light source that's going on.
No,
It looks kind of like a tree of some particular type. Long, thin strands of vines, but all the vines basically glowing.
So the world tree from Avatar.
all this
Yeah,
long
kind of. They're a lot brighter and a lot more translucent, so it's kind of like a jellyfish. That's like
it's a ghost tree.
that's probably a better way of putting it.
So
Except
the,
it doesn't
the
quite have-
memory trees.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have the big. It's different in that particular sense. So you know the old the things are actually coming out above. As instead of going into the ground like they do in
Yeah.
Avatar, these ones are actually going up and out, and they're basically becoming a big spot. Like it's like a water fountain sort of effect where it's coming up and then out,
Yeah.
up then and out. But these are all fronds of this particular tree, and it's glowing.
Is it moving at all, like other than
It's-
in the wind?
Other than in the wind, no, it doesn't look good to be moving at all.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm gonna fly closer when I can.
Yep. As the rest of you start approaching this particular place after you, so it'll be you first, so you'll get there first. And yeah, it's nice and glowing. It's quite bright. It's actually overshadowing your brightness. Yeah, it's overshadowing your brightness quite a bit.
Lift up that side of the table.
I'd like to climb down the tree and head towards the
Yeah,
light.
I'm assuming you're climbing down the tree. People are waiting for you. Only people who will get there next after you. I'll give you a chance to do some stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna. How tall is this tree in comparison to the others?
It's a lot shorter. It's probably only about 30 feet tall.
Okay. I'm gonna fly down to the. above the ground and look around to see if there's anything here in the clearing around the tree.
It just looks like a bright coloured, weird looking tree.
Any creatures or anything around?
No. Lots of
Insects?
insects, yeah.
Lots of moths.
Lots of
I'm
moths.
going to keep my mouth closed so that I don't eat them. And then, yeah, I'll land and wait for the others because I'm not too sure.
You're not too sure? Fair enough. You two, or you're next, because
Yes.
you're running. Are you running after him, or are you just going to keep moving silently?
Running like 10 foot behind.
10 foot behind. Alright, so you two essentially see that as well. You get to about, probably, 30, 40 feet, give or take, that you get there and you start seeing what I described, basically the weird plant that looks really bright. It's like it's growing out of the ground and the throngs are sort of just coming off in a fountain sort of pattern.
And before Rowan moves, I grab the back of his shirt.
You're 10 feet away, you can't do shit.
Oh.
Can I please make a history check to see if I've seen this before?
Go for it.
Being from Baliska and everything like that.
And being old.
That too. That's
Mixing the
10.
candy.
That's a 10.
Much
You
less.
don't know a lot about this, but you've heard of such things in forests before, and the fact that you're in the lands of what used to be the Breton lands, which are well known for also to have a bit of a fake ancestry in the area, this is definitely something in that ballpark.
Okay. I'm going to cast Speak with Plants again.
Mm-hmm.
This really is the fake disco ball. Yes. I'll just reach out. I'll get near enough to the tree. It's a 30-foot radius centered on me, and lasts for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And now the tree has a certain amount of sentience and ability to move actually as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, oh, "You're beautiful."
Thank you.
What are you doing here?
Don't know.
I'm surprised to see
Her voice sounds like a little bit of. You know how when glass splinters?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that piece is the voice every once in a while. Yeah. I've always been here.
You're beautiful.
We've established that.
God, I know. It's just.
You have imbued the plant with more intelligence than you currently have.
I'm awestruck. This is an amazing looking tree. Why do you glow?
Why do you not?
I don't know. I would like
I
to.
was going to say, this is the tree point at me and go, he does.
No, it doesn't. Nuclear test site.
Yeah.
1,000 years ago. Still glowing.
I should have turned left at Albuquerque.
I just came out of the vault.
It's actually more like Mr. Burns in the Simpsons episode when he comes out glowing in the
Bring
forest.
you peace.
I bring you love.
He's bringing us peace, get him!
Yeah, you're not too far behind, and you know he's starting to talk to. He's sounding weird in his voice. He's talking to the land.
Okay, so I'm immediately dropping into guard behind him because I've broken stealth following him to protect him.
You get to a certain distance, probably within 15 feet of this particular creature, and all of the shadows that you hope you could hide behind doesn't exist.
Exactly, so I've basically just pulled out short bow and I'm going to make checks on basically the surroundings for anything that's moving.
You quickly look back from the direction you came from, and 5 feet right behind you is Chen. I am not missing this.
I put the bow down slightly, like I've just about shot him in the head, but I just like, whoa, double take, and then put it on my back. What is this?
My friend.
Don't ask.
I know,
I kind of want to.
just watch and learn.
I put the bow down by my side and sit, and just,
The other trees speak of you.
Say hi.
I will. Though, that tree was quite far away. Are there more of you?
Yes?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
I'm traveling. I'm traveling in the direction of Bailiska, where I expected you would be.
Bailiska?
Oh, it's where I'm from.
Here?
It's a fake place.
Here.
Here's a fake place too. Of course it is.
Fey-ish.
Does it feel like
Fagels?
like home?
No.
Does it feel faded?
What does it feel like? This kind of thing. It's like.
This is a beautiful presence. This is something definitely fake. You can definitely feel that. You step outside 10 feet away from this thing and that feeling fades very quickly.
Oh, okay. Do I see anything that looks like seeds? Something that distributes.
You know how we've got the little grass plants that come out in the, I've forgotten what they're called for some reason. With the little things that you can blow on and the
Dandelions?
dandelions, that's the ones. Words. What's that thing you dig with? Dandelions. There's basically a couple of those growing at the base, and every once in a while you're seeing as they're flowing within the wind, some of them break off, and just float.
I will.
But they also, after a certain amount of time, after you're watching them, go dark.
Oh. I'm gonna ask the tree if I can approach.
Of course.
I see you're making seeds.
Am I?
Yes, at your base, there's something.
Is that like a weird faux pas? Oh, you're seeding in the wind. Oh, am I? The equivalent of pointing out that a woman's lactating.
Or a man doesn't have control of himself.
I guess so.
I was wondering if you would be okay with me taking one of the seeds. I would love to be able to cultivate a life such as yours.
Cultivate?
Grow.
Get in there, everyone.
Yes.
Smother yourself in it.
I may. Okay, I will approach and with reverence, I'll like gently produce a gust of wind with druidcraft so it comes off naturally,
Mm-hmm.
and then like catch one
Yep.
at the stem.
You catch one?
I'm imagining it's like this big.
No, yeah, about that.
Okay. And I'll say, I'll do. I'll. Is it fair to say that I've got like a small cloth bag?
Yep, I'm happy with that.
A
A pouch will do the trick.
Yeah. I'll take a pouch, scoop some soil into it,
Mm-hmm.
gently put the seed in like bulb first in.
Yep.
And try and like encourage it along a bit.
Yep.
To see if it starts growing in these conditions.
Yep, you do that.
Okay.
Then you got yourself a bit of the plant.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Once I return home, I will tell people that you are here.
Where's here?
Forest.
Sorry. I was told this place was named Forest by another tree.
Name?
What do you call yourself? I've not spent much time talking to trees. I'm noticing some trends.
Oh god, are you going to bring out the book and start teaching the social interactions?
Yes! I spend the rest of my time explaining social interactions very badly.
A year later, we find a tree which goes, "Oh, humans. How are you?" As it extends a branch.
I will since this tree can move a little bit as it's under the spell's influence, I'll explain a handshake to the tree and be like, yes, this is what humans do to say hello to each other. They place parts of themselves next to each other and then shake them up and down in time with one another.
One of the Throns, slowly utilizing a little bit of the wind itself, comes over to you.
Okay. I will gently hold on to it.
You gently.
We've got mortal shotgun is now following.
Hey.
You gently hold on to the frond of glowing energy. You feel like a bit of static electricity run through your hand as you do. Interesting.
Isn't it?
By this stage, the rest of you guys have now rocked up.
I'm
So-
shaking hands with the tree.
We basically
I
see
am-
him standing in front of a glowing tree, shaking one of its branches.
And I'm drawing.
We're not going to be able to do any better, let's face it.
Yeah.
Whatever mistakes he's making, I can't fix.
This is
You can talk to this thing.
I'm just going to sit here and watch. I pull up one of the bottles of wine.
this is
out
a
of my
this is a
bag.
beautiful thing. It's hard to tell what it is specifically. It does look like a plant, but it doesn't look like it fits here. Like it's not a plant that fits this environment. Like it's mostly pine trees and conifers and stuff like that. And this one seems extraordinarily out of the ordinary. And it's the bright light. While it seems bright from the distance that you were seeing it at, it's not glaringly bright on your eyes, and you can actually look at it without too much of a drama. But it's definitely something you've never seen before.
I approach very carefully and pour some water on it.
Pour some water on it.
A gift.
That's what you hear.
Oh, she liked that. She.
Okay.
She's lovely. Oh, yes. Would you like me to give you a name?
Name?
It's
A social construct.
it's something that is used to refer to things like you are a tree. I'm an elf. These are names.
There was ominous silence as you
Yeah.
Rowan, may I have a look at that seed?
Be very, very careful. I'll
I shall.
gingerly pass it off to
You
you.
could even use mage hand to hold it so you're not actually touching it.
Well, I have to for what I will do. I'm going to attempt to cast Identify on it.
It'll take you 10 minutes to do that, so you gotta sit down to do that. 10 minutes ritual. I've cast it many times myself before.
Yeah, but
1 minute if I cast it as a spell.
If you've got it memorized, then yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool.
you have
Still
to-
takes you a minute.
Yeah. I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to sit there.
Is your
I
sorcerer-
don't even know if it's going to work.
Ah, he's a sorcerer.
He
You're
has
beginning
all
your
the spells
sorcerer, sorry,
memorized.
yeah. I'm used to being a wizard.
Yeah. A wizard did it.
It's part of the reason why I started doing this, is because I wanted to play D&D.
Play. Okay.
Yeah, play.
Hey, you could be a player. I'll run a game for you.
I love DMing. I love
Yeah,
it
I
so
know.
much.
That's why I'm missing it.
Yeah.
You should run Starfinder.
I want to.
I'm going to
And
call
Pathfinder.
you.
It's not finding it's Pathfinder, but it's best.
A myriad.
These are
Name.
and like 10
Myriad.
races.
A myriad.
Is that a female version of
Ten.
a new race?
No, it's E-M-E-R.
Oh, I thought it was like Amir. Yeah.
A myriad, yeah.
Starfinder.
Yeah, write that one down, because I'll forget.
I've just sort of like put my sword away, strapped my shield to my back, and I've just sort of like sat down in the dirt, looking at the tree, trying to figure out what it is.
Praise be to the tree.
We're gonna turn to Shen. Do you know this?
I have not seen this before. That is why I come to look.
Would you like to meet my friends?
Friends?
The other people around your clearing.
People?
Like me. Small. Able to move around.
Yes.
The other hairless apes.
Perhaps you can try the handshake. I'll turn to
How far away are you sitting from the tree?
Probably about, like how far is it before the trees start?
The tree's taking up about, it's only taking up about 10 feet of an area.
I'm like-
Squared, give or take.
Probably about just after the trees of, like, the clearing around where the tree
Clearing
is.
around it, yeah. So you're
Yeah.
just inside the clearing on the outskirts, or
Probably
on
about 10 feet in.
10 feet in? Okay, cool. So you're not that close to the
I would
tree.
probably be the next closest because I got right next to Rowan because I thought battle was going down.
I'll turn to everybody and encourage you to get closer and say,
I was going to say I'm
The
right
tree.
next to you anyway, because that's
Yeah.
where I was.
Yeah.
the tree would like to say hello.
Fronds of the glowing tree slowly drift towards you.
I put out a hand, like, really cautiously.
And you touch it.
Yeah.
You feel sparks of really soft static electricity.
I stand up and I like hold out my hand, and as it touches me, I sort of bow.
And you also feel the static electricity run through your hand. Same, yeah.
As I do a formal introduction which it can't understand.
I'll, if he tries to talk, I'll translate it kind of like, yes, he's saying
I
this.
also say the same thing again in Elven, just in case.
Old language.
Oh. She recognized that. Did you understand it?
Yes.
Ooh. You can say things to her.
But she cannot speak back to me, I guess.
I'll tell you what she said.
I also.
It is.
Yeah, you feel the same static electricity run through your hand.
I am casting identify.
You are casting identify, that's right, yes.
Not meaning to be rude, just busy.
Be extra polite with a formal Elven introduction.
Every honorific in the book.
For elves, there's probably a lot of them.
Yeah.
Long time. Have not heard.
She says it's been a while since all of that. Oh yes, her name's Emiria, by the way.
I should probably not speak to her in Inferial then.
No.
Doesn't seem to be bad.
I'd like to talk to all of them.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. How? Is contact, you know?
Stand close.
Everybody get close. Apparently she can talk to you besides just through me.
Do I need to stand on her?
Stand right.
I just move
Just
closer
near-
Yeah.
until I'm like
Get near
near
her.
the trunk.
It's okay.
So we're all standing next to Rob.
I'm
Oh.
going to go forward.
This is
Yeah, I'll
like
go.
a gigantic bug zapper. We're
Actually-
going to move in close and he kills us.
I'm going to be sure because all the electricity will go to those in metal armor.
I am, however, putting a dagger against my arm, the obsidian one.
Putting against your arm.
Holding it
Holding
back
it
with
like
your
Oh,
this.
holding it, yeah.
Yeah.
We've done this before for healing purposes. I'm going to encourage everybody to just form a circle around her trunk and hold hands.
Everyone who does, as you notice and you wait, the tree shakes itself ever so slightly. And lots of the smaller bits of light, little motes of light, come off as the shakes in a like a bit of a cloud around the thing. And you're noticing that when this happens, and it's relatively quick phase that this is all happening, there's your natural breathing, you didn't even consider it. Some of the motes start going up your nose or into your mouth, depending on if it's open or not. Yeah, exactly. It's like a bit weird, and you feel them go in, and you feel the static electricity go through your nostril and through your cavities.
Hell if you've got hay fever.
Yeah.
Or if it really cleared the sinuses.
It could be very interesting for a dragon boy.
What does it taste like?
Hello. And you'll hear this echo through your heads. Tell me how to win your heart.
So,
Lots of books on astrology.
is that the tree, Rowan?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Do I hear him? Can we all hear each other?
Yes.
Isn't she lovely?
It's pretty incredible. Why did you want to talk to me? Or us? Tree.
I was going to say, do they just hear me mumbling to myself doing the spell?
Yeah, probably. Friends.
I guess we are.
Her name is Emiria.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Emiria.
It's a good name.
From.
Southeast of here. I roughly turn and point that direction.
He is from across a great water.
Dark water?
Large water.
Deep.
It would be dark, yes.
Deep water.
You wouldn't want to drink this water.
It's quite bitter.
Very bitter. From?
I am from a land called the Nine Deserts.
The sun.
I'd say, or think, in Elven, I follow an older path.
Ah, the raven. It is old.
And yet old and new are connected by memory.
That they are. From?
And I speak in Draconic. The mountains of Kush. It is an honor.
The language of fire.
Speak the language of fire if you want.
You just
No, infernal.
Infernal or fireball.
From?
From over the mountains to the west.
Mountains.
It's far away.
Rocks piled on top of each other.
Tall land.
Tall land. The cold to the sky.
Yes.
From?
Has a minute passed yet?
From?
I am from Estra, a central island.
Estra.
A land surrounded by water.
Ah.
Constantly at
Estra.
war.
We're not at war! You bastards just keep coming in and having your war.
And Baeliska.
West of here.
West of here.
but also not truly just west.
It spans a great distance, a mighty and powerful forest.
Ember is also from
You're not in Caravan. I know you're feeling sick.
West.
Pleasure. It has been gracious meeting you.
How long has it been? Just about last for 10 minutes.
It's starting to run out, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
Ah.
she's using her own magic to talk to the
Shen
sound.
speaking to her?
Yes.
Which-
He'll ask Shen to, yeah.
Where does he say he's from?
I haven't written that much for
Bashada?
his character. Yeah, he's from Bashada.
You know,
Curiosity.
that generic place over in the east.
Yes.
That happens to have Asian stereotypes.
Yes.
And rice. Lots of rice.
Too much rice, to be honest.
A lot of rice.
Only rice. That's the problem.
Staple diet of all of Bashada. Rice.
I had one of the quests. I
And
accidentally became Shogun.
You became Shogun.
Yeah, it has been
So
rice.
one of the guards walked up to me and went, "Shogun, you have a visitor." But that's a segue.
An interesting one.
My response was, "Send him to me."
I'm going to ask Imperius what the result of your spell was. I'm quite curious.
That's a plan.
What is the result of my spell?
It's a magical thing.
You can tell there's deep-seated magic in it.
Elaborate.
Would it have like conjuration magic because it's
It's
explainer?
not quite like that.
So I assume it is Fey.
Yes.
Creature,
It's
yeah.
a Fey. It's a Fey essence. It's a
I was going
living,
to say, is it a
living
Fey
creature.
from this plane or from the Fey wild?
Both.
Okay.
It's a stripe.
So it's kind of existing between the two. Interesting.
You suspect that your identifier tells you that this particular thing that you've got in your hand is also connected to this creature. If it's taken away from this creature, it will also not exist anymore.
I'm going to relay that to him. But like not through mindful
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
speaking to him.
Okay.
Oh, and we should probably keep this here. It may die otherwise.
Okay.
Or at least lose its connection.
I'm going to find a location that's halfway between her and the edge of her like perimeter. You know, the place where I saw one of the other ones fizzle out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a small hole and plant it next to her.
You do that.
And I'll give it some more juice to allow its roots to like get a bit
stuff.
deeper.
How about some wine?
No.
In theory, you could possibly cast a cantrip using a higher level slot for more oomph.
Or I could just cast plant growth, but that seems like overkill. That's a lot of magic.
It is a lot of magic, yeah. You cast a spell to sort of help it along a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, and it basically looks like it sets root into the ground.
I'm gonna.
And so starts the invasion.
John, have you got something that can carve into stone?
Chisel and a
Plenty
hammer.
that can carve into stone.
Can I borrow it, please?
For what? We don't trust people.
I was gonna say, we have a dwarf that can carve into
For
stone.
the future.
Stone marker.
I pull out a chisel and one of my hammers.
Yep.
Is there like a decent sized rock nearby?
Yes, about fist size.
Okay, I
We
will.
can find a rock.
I'll take the rock.
Yeah,
And
it would require probably a bit more of a search. Probably not quite what you want. So just a little bit more of a search will do the trick.
Yeah, I'll search around. The plan is I'm going to write in Druidic
Mm-hmm.
on the rock the name Emiria and just leave it at her base. So other druids who come by can.
Yep.
No.
Cool. Welcome. Rest. Enlighten. Peace.
I don't know about you guys, but I know where I'm sleeping tonight.
I just sort of take off my armor while I'm there and just sort of like lay against the trunk of the tree.
You feel like the static electricity as you do.
I lay back and think of the Raven Queen.
The Raven Queen.
Essentially, I'm trying to see whether I can connect through dream
Yes,
through the
absolutely.
Fae to patron them.
Oh,
Yeah.
may I?
I don't want any of that since the last time we met them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask if I can sleep on one of her branches, like climb up her a little bit and sleep amongst some of the branches.
Some of the thrones come down, and you like basically you can jump on and lifts you up into the thrones of the branches.
Guys, this is the best. I'm so
And
happy right now.
we wake up in the morning and he's been eaten.
And we wake up in the morning and it's 1,000 years later.
I was gonna say, we wake up in the morning.
And the war against the machines has started.
Oh, hang on a second. I trance into the spirit world.
You transcend the spirit world. Yeah.
I'd like to extend that out if I can. Because it's a very fake place.
Yeah,
I want to see if I can feel other people just randomly dreaming and be all like, yes, come with me. Come with me, you guys. This is going to be fun in here.
Is that saying that you want to guest run next week's session as you guide us through a Fae dream run?
That would be cool.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm not
I
hearing a
just
no.
want to experience my dreams.
I'm saying no.
Okay. Just like, even if it's just like minor contact.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. We'll have another game on Saturday where we go through the dream realm and Tim's not invited.
In his own house. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
non-canon, but it's going to be fun.
It's one of those spin-off episodes.
That's where we all gain 6 levels, right?
Feed an elder god.
Yes.
Look, I do get access to the dream spell later.
Mm.
Oh god.
Yes.
Alright, anyone else doing anything else in this area? I mean, I assume you're going to sleep in the area.
Oh yeah. It's going to be so nice.
I'm gonna sleep on the outskirts of the area though.
Just gonna slip right in.
Wakes up in the elemental plane of glitter.
I don't know why I'm having money thrown at me apparently.
I don't know. Apparently you're loved. There's a dragonborn.
Apparently.
Well, you did just, strip.
Dude, when I took off my armor, I still have like
Scales.
clothes underneath in scales. Yes.
I'm going
Roll
to
34.
hold my dagger very tightly by my side and fall into a probably quite fitful sleep. Because I'm not comfortable with this, and I'm relying on the reassurances of him, which is...
However,
Very
when
reassuring.
you do fall asleep, when you strangely fall asleep quite quickly, and it is a very calming sleep, and yeah, you have a nice night of sleep. You attempt to try and somehow get your conscience to travel through either the plant or through the Fae or to contact the Raven Queen.
I open myself. to
You
my
open
patron.
yourself up to your patron. You feel yourself open up, and you feel the Fae and the presence in the area based off this tree. But you don't contact the Raven Queen at all. In fact, it scares you a little bit because you wake up and there was no one.
Thus, the wrong plane.
Hey, at least you woke up.
1,000 years later, at the start of the war with the machines.
However, the
Starfighter.
rest of you
Hey, they got the rules.
also sleep nicely, peacefully, calmly.
How's my trance?
You hear, as part of your dream that you'd managed to remember and wake up from, it's not your fault.
I didn't do it.
Maybe I did. Oops.
Yours, when you sleep, is you gave more than justice. Yours, when you sleep, is
Dear God.
Oh, you found religion? Excellent.
Oh, no, not again.
Okay.
a star has fallen.
I already know this.
Yours is move forward to that peace.
Amber says, the first step is admitting you have a problem.
For those who are new to the channel who only just joined in the last half hour, Amber is the dwarven drunk. Well,
He's
not even
currently
drunk,
sleeping on the
alcoholic
floor.
but not drunk.
Never
It's-
drunk.
And she's laughing too much at that one.
Oh, that's your change colour.
And on that particular note with those dreams as you're falling into sleep, we will end the night there and continue on afterwards.
What about me? What about me?
It isn't fair. I've had enough. I want my share, can't you see?
That's what the tree says.
He's
Yes.
got
But you just take my... What about you?
Yeah, what is the tree?
What about you?
Why did the tree say
Next week.
what?
That's right, next week.
Okay. Well,
Thank you all for joining us on this particular channel. Thank you for all the new people who have come and joined us. We will again do this again next Sunday night, Australian Eastern Standard Time at 6-ish PM, 6 to 6:30. Sorry, Amber has, Alice is feeling a bit under the weather. If you are into LARPing and you live in Australia, we also do Tuesday talks about LARP on Twitch as well, so if you want to join us for that, you can. We are going to talk quite a few other different LARPs that are across Melbourne and hopefully from New South Wales as well. And then if it goes well, we will travel to more of the LARPs across the country. Until then, thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. And for those who want to play D&D, hope you find your group.
Bye.